Bonsoir, madame, monsieur. Welcome to the stream. Hi, guys. Good to have you here with me. Right, it's a Sunday night. It's one of those. This one is actually planned tonight, but there's nothing set up. No games, no ladyboy competition, nothing. But great to see you guys in. We'll start as we mean to go on. I've got a guest in about 20 minutes. I won't tell you who it is. Nobody like really famous, but a good guy. He's been on before. Okay, I'm going to say hi to D in Isan. Let me put that up there. So hi Peter, it's great to see the streams. I catch them on a rerun as they're either at 3 a.m. on a Saturday or 1 a.m. on a Monday here in Korat. I mean that's really great that there you are in Thailand and I'm in stuck in Northamptonshire in the UK, wishing I was in Korat or wherever, and you're watching me, not the other way around. So good to have you in, D, and thank you for watching the catch up. Gary Russell, see you in a bit. Yeah. Don Trump, you said that last week, didn't you? You're competing with Country File. Yeah, Country File's a bit boring though, isn't it? James Casey, hi Peter, hope you're ready for a marathon. How are you going? Yeah, I'm doing well, James, thank you. Hey then, hi Mongers and Mongerettes. Yeah, we haven't got any of the females in yet, I don't think. Who else we got? Peter Fretwell, we are ready for a 4-hour marathon. Not 4 hours, guys. Not tonight. Not on a Sunday. Real Rini, hi Peter and everybody on the stream. Paul Shackleton, how you doing? Ronald Justin, is it? Deke the Trucker, hi Peter. I've got you playing in the background in the truck. Makes my shift go faster. All right, Dick. Something else there. Deke, that video you sent me just by coincidence, I'd actually watched it 2 or 3 days earlier because somebody else had sent me it. It was good to watch, but it wasn't the most exciting video in the world, was it? Did you find that, or you know? But thanks anyway for sending it. Hi to Dutch Farang, Mongers Unite. Yeah, absolutely. Barang, evening all, cheers. Martin McCormick, hi, how you doing? Have you noticed I'm reading them slower tonight, guys? Because I've got nothing prepared. If it dries up, then that's it. We're gone. Seamus Doherty, how you doing? Danish Bacon, hi. Lovely way round off the weekend. It still feels like a Friday night. It still feels like we're going. The only bad thing about doing it at 7 o'clock on Sunday, I don't normally drink until after 9 p.m. and I do like a drink after 9 p.m. But of course, I'm going to be drinking at maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock. And luckily, I haven't got any schools tomorrow. Right, Andrew, good evening. How are you? Let me just read that out. Hi, Peter and everyone. Let's have another great stream. My flight is booked for October from Heathrow to Bangkok. Return from 637. Right, but it's interesting you should say that, Andrew, because I had on Friday we were talking about flights and a lot of people were saying that they can't get them for under £1,200, £1,400, and I'd actually said similar to you. I said, well, look, you know, if you've got to look for these flights, they are out there. I know you're not going until October, but you know, normally October is getting towards the high season, isn't it? I found flights on Thai Airways for kind of like $750. I haven't found as good as you, but then I haven't looked on Eva Air. I told you the reason why. And I have been watching a few of your videos. Andrew's got his own YouTube channel called Andrew's Real World. You just come back from Turkey. And we've got something planned together in Thailand, maybe in October. So I'll tell you about that a little bit later on. Right, got to say hi to Antonio. How you doing? Good evening, Peter, and greetings from... Oh, you're in Ubon Ratchathani. Yeah, good to see you, Anthony. Carl... Is it Carl? Carl D. Hello, guys. Hope everyone is safe. Yeah, hi, Carl. Okay, let's go down the list. They kind of come in blocks, you know. It's like you got 2 left, and then like 30 come. Right. Did I say hi to Leeds? Well, I'll say hi now. Right. Gemini Star, how you doing? Nice to see you in. Glenn Hendricks, how are you? Martin Ryder, evening shaggers. Always that one, isn't it? Look. Not holding any punches there. Nino, hi everyone. Hi Dutch Farang. Martin Ryder again. What's that? Live and direct from Mongrel Central. I'm not a monger. Everybody keeps saying monger. Right, Motel, even Peter and all. Martin Blunston, overtime tonight. Yeah, a lot of people working tonight, aren't there? Clive, McLaren F1 race. Got his first F1 victory. Well done. Yeah, okay. Damien and I were talking about you the other day. Nothing bad, don't worry. I'll tell you what we said, because every week when I do the competition, the Ladyboy competition, you never ever get it right. And I was talking to Damon on the phone. He's not in tonight, Damon, because he's gone around his mum's house for a roast dinner. Lovely. But I said to Damon, I said, you know, I feel sorry for Clive. He never ever gets it right. I wish I could call him up and say, look, Clive, the winner tonight is number 4, just to see you get it right once. But of course I wouldn't do that. But you know, just funny, that's all. Right, Martin Ryder. Now, have you got a crystal ball? I'm going to put that up there. How did you know that? How did you know it's Steph Traveller? Yeah, I've got Steph. Steph's coming in. If you haven't met Steph before, Steph's done a lot of traveling. He drives a train in Perth, and he's single. He's got to especially come on the stream, so I'm not going to keep him waiting too long. I can see him in the background powdering his nose and quaffing his hair, so we'll bring him in. And what hair he's got, we'll bring him in a bit, just for a little chat. It's always nice. I'm hoping to get Yoz Travels on here maybe next week as well if he comes into the stream. But yeah, Martin, how did you know that? I didn't announce it. Was it just a lucky guess? Keith Morris, how you doing? Bob Jeer, hello Peter and everyone watching. Barry from EastEnders. If it's not Ed Sweeney, I'm not interested. Funny enough, I spoke to Ed today. Ed contacted me 2 nights ago. I'm not going to go into depth, and I said I wouldn't mention. Ed give me permission to mention this, and I said I won't because you're going to make a video, but I'll just touch on it. He won't mind. He had one of these Nigerian scammers contact him. I'll let him make the video, but it was I said that to him. I said, Ed, do FaceTime with her because I think it's somebody in Lagos scamming you. And I found out today what it was, but I'm not saying anything more than that. Let Ed tell you the story himself. Right. Shaggy Rogers, hello, Peter. Paul Hoskin, well done, Kate Bush. Reaching #1. Nice to see a Bush is still popular. Typical Paul. Jeff Sear, is it? Cheers, everyone. Alec Waters. How come everybody knows this? I haven't announced it. How come? Have you put it on Facebook or something, Shane? Right. Who I'm going to say hello to. Just say hi to everybody first, and I'll bring Shane in. Sean Young, hi, Peter. Looking forward to the show as always. Ty Billy Boy. Well, that's cheered me up. Cheers, Peter. Hi, everyone. Can't beat a live stream. No, we'll talk about anything and everything tonight. I kind of, the Friday night streams are planned. Everything's, it's a military position. I've got all the competitions lined up, all the pictures, everything like that. But the Sunday one's quite relaxing because I don't have to worry about anything. I can see you guys coming in. I can answer all your streams. We've got over 200 in already. As it gets on, hopefully more people will come in, and I'll carry on saying hi to everybody for now. So, Guns and Plebs, hi Peter, great to see you today, and you. Yeah, Clive, it was Carlos got his first. Yeah, okay, Carlos. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put it up there. Look, got his first F1 victory. I'm not a particular fan of. I'm not a petrol head really, Clive. So I can't sort of like get as enthusiastic about it as a lot of people, but I understand it. Bertie's Adventures. Bertie's Adventures. Hi, how you doing? Anders Bergman. Hi, everyone. Cowboy Vic episodes. Hi, Peter and all. Carl D. Peter, thanks for recommending. Who's that? Steve. Oh, the beer. Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Chris sent me an email and told me how to pronounce it, but I still can't pronounce it. The French beer is very nice, isn't it? Very nice and cheap. Right, Jess Tech 65. Good evening, Joel. Great to see you on a Sunday again. Yeah, I'll do this for a few more weeks because I don't know. I'm going to drop one of them. It's either going to be the Friday or the Sunday. I put the poll out. Sunday, more people voted. 49% want it on a Sunday. A lot of people said they like the Friday because it's a start to the weekend and everything. So I'll do it. We'll see how the numbers go and make a decision in a couple of weeks. Asif, how are you doing? Good to see you once again. Jake McShane, greetings from San Diego, California. Yeah, how you doing, Jake? Chris, yeah. I just said with that beer, I think it was you sent me a message and you broke it down how it's pronounced. I still can't pronounce it. I'm rubbish at it, but you know the beer I'm talking about. Sis Sawat. Oh, quite a few people from Thailand watching tonight. Sis Swadika from Chang-Mia. Yeah, hi, good to have you in. I can't really see the picture there, but I can see legs. I can see shorts. Looking good up there in Chiang Mai. What time is it in Thailand now? It's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. It's 1 in the morning. Okay, so people will be going to bed in Thailand soon, or if they're not already. Real Deal TV. Hello, Peter. Finally caught the live stream. Jez Tech 65. I'm hoping to get there in the fall. Okay, yeah. A lot of people going out there now. Damon, you cad you. Hi, Mr. Peter. Decided to take my phone to mum's. A quick message to say hi from my mother's, Craig, and my mum. Right. Hi to your mum, Damon, because I know she's there. Hi, mum. And hi to your brother. Craig's his name, isn't it? So totally embarrassed myself there. Enjoy your dinner tonight, guys. And I'll be here next week. But I did mention that you're not here, Damon, but I knew you wouldn't be able to resist. Right. Happy as Larry. Prices are more or less normal from Amsterdam from September onwards. Next 8 weeks average €1,200. Return too expensive. Drops to 700. Return direct. But don't forget, guys, the school holidays are coming in 3 weeks' time. For the UK, the schools break up for their long 6-week summer holiday. And a lot of Thais, people got any kind of family contact in Thailand, even families who want to go on holiday to Thailand. There's no Thailand pass or anything now. So you're going, the next 6 weeks, the Christmas time is, it's the busiest time. So tickets are going to be expensive. But as Andrew's proved, there are cheap tickets out there, but although he's going in October. Right, 336. This is the S1 of the only live streams I've ever been able to see from you. Good to see you doing well, Peter, and good to see you as well in tonight. Okay, we're getting down the list now. HFC 65, hi from East Yorkshire. Yeah, was up there recently. Well, say recently, 6 months ago. Ben, how you doing? Ben Leno, 109 in Thailand. Yeah, I said 7, but it was a few minutes past. But yeah, there's 6 hours. 6 hours ahead. Right, let me just say thank you to Citizen Mikey, very generous there once again. Hi Peter, will you do a few vlogs from Bangkok with Bangkok Pat when you go over to Thailand? I will. I plan to do some vlogs, but what I don't want to do interviews with other I don't want to sit down and do interviews with other Thailand vloggers, because we've done all that, haven't we? When the pandemic was on, everybody was struggling for content. They couldn't go out and film. They can now. And, people are into, I interviewed Pat interviewed me, I interviewed Brian Flowers, he interviewed me, I interviewed Buzzing Pat here, Trevor, he interviewed me. But I think we're past that now. So any videos that I do with anybody in Thailand, we've got to be doing someone. We go somewhere and we do something. We don't just sit down at a table and talk about things. Okay. But thanks for the super chat once again, Citizen Mikey, very generous. Okay, yeah, there we go. You said it again, Chris. It's Saint Etienne. I'll get it one day. I'll probably in about 10 years. Right, Dave Dorman, how you doing? Good to see you in. Dave, Devil's Den, Peter, have you ever visited Brazil? I haven't. That was a place on my bucket list. Whether I'll get there or not now, I don't know. I should really make the effort now, shouldn't I? But yeah, maybe, I don't know. People say it's not safe, but then that's normally the people who have never been there, isn't it? Gemini Star, the best live streams, Peter, are the freestyle, right? Yeah, okay. It's a bit nerve-wracking for me, Gemini Star, because when I've got stuff lined up, I know I'm not going to fall down flat on my face. But I haven't yet anyway. We'll bring Shane in a bit, because he's sat there. I don't want him to fall asleep. Good of him to get up early. Right, happy as Larry. Good to see you. Just say hi to everyone first. So Rhodas, did I pronounce that properly? Right, what are you saying about a flight? Booked last week a direct flight with Thai Airways Switzerland to Bangkok, 712 to 2612, cost 770 CHF or 660 pounds. That's really cheap, yeah. I won't even try and pronounce that, what you're using in there. Hello, Peter. Greetings from the sunny side of the Maldives. Yes, very nice location, very exotic. Not been there either. Sis again. It's 1 o'clock, and have you left a letter right there? Plots of doggies barking outside the okay, yeah. Well, good to see you in. Just let me know, are you female? We do get females in quite frequently. I don't know why, but they tend to come in. And good to have you in the stream, but let me know. And if you're a guy, no problem either. Broadcast Dave, hi Pete, what's happening? Well, we're live streaming at the moment, Broadcast Dave. Got a guest on in a bit. Karam Farang from the jungle. Sis, where in Chiang-Mai I live? He's doing a pickup there. Somebody's doing a pickup line here on my stream. Broadcast Dave, hi, what's happening? I've done that one, haven't I? Danny P, hi Peter. Looking to go to Thailand around Christmas time. I hope everything is open. Yeah, I think it pretty much will be. It is now, isn't it? Right. Ivor Napian, is it? Book September 640. Yeah. So all these people who were saying like they can't get flights cheaper than £1,500 or £1,400. Last Friday, when they were saying that, I had said, yeah, those prices are coming up. But if you're a little bit flexible and you will, I always like to go on a Sunday and return on a Sunday. I don't know why. I've always done it. I leave my house at 4 p.m. I'm in the airport for 6. I have a few beers. 9:30, I'm off, and I've always done it like that. But when I started playing around with different dates and different times, like a Tuesday lunchtime, for instance, yeah, the flights came up. You just got to be a bit flexible, haven't you? Different times. What I'm worried about more than getting a cheap flight is what's going to happen at the airport, because it's terrible at the moment. I read a story, I said on Friday, I read a story in one of the airports. They had 40 check-in desks at 6 in the morning for a flight, and there was one person working them 40 desks. Terrible. People waiting up for an hour and a half for their luggage to come off the racks. No staff. Okay. Nick T, evening or Wimbledon, great this weekend. You don't see many Thai players. Okay, yeah. Devil's Den. I found Brazil safe as long as you took the usual precautions. Yeah, but when you say the usual, itchy. When you say the usual precautions, I mean, how much of those precautions? I mean, when you're in Thailand at night, for instance, it's not too dangerous. You do take some precautions, but it's just, I'm sure it's fine. But you hear stories, and obviously not being there, it makes you a bit nervous to actually go there. Right. Okay, so Karem says fly on Tuesday, Wednesday, and arrive back on those days. You get the best flight rates, midweek flight. Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I'm going to start doing. HW, everyone is sick of these gas prices. Get rid of, it's gone. Where is it? Get rid of all lifelong politicians, starting with Biden. Is he still alive? Right, Drunken Donuts. Peter, have you ever had blood in your stool? No, and I know what you're getting at, and I've actually just done the poop on a stick 2 weeks ago, and it came back no further tests required. That's all to do with colon cancer and stuff, isn't it? A strange question to put out on a live stream, though. Mark Saunders, hi Peter, been back a couple of days, had a brilliant time in Pattaya up until last night, got overcharged on last bars. Be careful, guys. Yeah, you've got to be careful, haven't you? Dave Andrew, with Emirates, about £1,000 return to UK with Google Quick Connections. Yeah, Emirates is a very, very good airline. Very good. I was thinking of flying their economy upgrade. I don't know what they call it, but it's the class between economy and business class. I'm not, I can't really justify business class, but at my age now, I've worked hard all my life. You can always say, well, why should I pay? If a economy ticket's 600 and a upgrade is 1,200, the economy upgrade, you can say, well, at £600 I can have a lot of dinners, I can stay. You can do that with anything, can't you? But if you enjoy the flight and it's comfortable and you land rested, then yeah. Right. Only in Thailand I was very flexible and gave a full month's onwards and return, but could still not get an economy flight for less than 1,200. Well, it's strange. Lots of people have. Right, I'm going to bring in Shane. He's in the background there. I think let me just bring him in. There we are. There's Shane there. How you doing, Shane?
Oh, good. Not bad. Greetings to Thailand bound from Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah, because you haven't got the floods where you are. Watching the news, it's like Sydney's pretty badly flooded, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of waterways in Sydney from Darling Harbour through the Parramatta River, and it spreads out. It's like veins, arteries and veins everywhere. It's really bad.
Yeah. Well, thanks for getting up. What time did you get up? You said 4 o'clock, 3:30 something in the morning?
Yeah, I got up at 3 a.m., but I went to bed at 8:30, so I've had a good set of sleep. But yeah, no, I'm getting up for Thailand bound. It's not a problem.
Oh, good. And you said you're going to go back to bed after this, right?
Yeah, I've got to work tomorrow in the afternoon, though, so it's all right. Plenty of time to rest and relax.
Well, I'm just looking at the comments coming in now. Quite a few people saying hello to you. Danish Bacon, hi, Shano. Paul Shackleton, good day, Shano. Clive McLaren F1, good day, mate. Jake, hi, Shane. Motel, good, Shane. So there you go. People saying hello to you. Dutch Frank says, who is this? It's Shane O'Trevor. Dutch Frank will bring you in if you want. It's the whole thing about a stream. Anyone can come in if you want to come in and talk some sense about anything. You can do. Nick T says, good day. So what's your plan, Shane? Because so let me give you a little bit of background. Why don't you tell people, Shane? Because you've traveled quite extensively, haven't you, including Thailand? What sort of countries have you been to in Southeast Asia? Have you been? I did ask you this the last time. I've forgotten now. Where do you like to go to?
I've been right throughout Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and Philippines. In total, I've been to Southeast Asia for 11 months over the last 7-8 years. But the COVID is what has stuffed me up.
Yeah. How has that been for you? Because you're single, aren't you? Did you still work through? Because you're a train driver, aren't you?
Correct. I'm a tram driver here in Melbourne. The pandemic, I kept my job throughout it. It was pretty much land of the zombies with Melbourne's lockdowns. At one point, Melbourne was the most locked down city on the planet.
Really? Is it a train? Is it trains or trams you drive?
No, it's a tram. It's like a small train. It's a mix between a garbage truck, a bus, and the train, pretty much. It's European style, but we do have.
Yeah, we had them here. We used to have them here, trams. I just didn't know which one it was you drive. But I would imagine as a single guy driving trams full time, you're on a pretty good whack. So you can get to go over to Asia quite often, I would imagine, in normal times.
Yeah, well, I'm hooked on Thailand, especially the city of Pattaya. I like to travel every 4 to 6 months and go for a couple of weeks or 21 days.
When are you actually, have you got any plans to go to Thailand in the near future? Because it's all happening now, isn't it? Thailand Pass is gone. Because now from, I think it's from July, Thai Airways have put on a direct flight from Perth to Bangkok. It's 7 hours because they'd cancelled it all with the pandemic and everything. But they said, according to Thai Airways Facebook, they said from July they were going to start doing 2 flights a week out of Perth. You know about that?
Yeah. Well, I've saved up all the annual leave throughout the pandemic, so I'll be using my first STV visa next year. 12-week holiday.
So how long, when are you actually going next time to Thailand?
I actually don't know. It'll be in the first quarter or the second quarter of the year. That'll be my first trip back. So it'll be a total of 3 years without Southeast Asia in it. I really miss the place. I can't get enough.
But you'll be going. Yeah, but you'll be going this year, right? Or you're leaving it till next year?
No, not till next year, because we have to book our annual leave a year in advance due to the workplace. So next year, it's really bad.
Yeah. Okay, let me just have a quick look at some comments here. Right, only in Thailand. I've got to be careful here to see what guys are saying. Yes, Karim, another guy on here told me that you book. Okay, he's talking to somebody else. If you've got any questions for Shane, feel free to ask away. Let's see what Paul Hoskins is saying. Has anyone been to the crocodile farm where men put their head into a crocodile's mouth? I haven't done that myself. Have you been there, Shane?
Yeah, I've seen crocodile farms in Vietnam. They're all in little pits and stuff like that. They chuck food in, they start snapping. Yeah, I wouldn't like to fall into that pit.
I certainly wouldn't put my head in there. That's for sure. Yeah. So you said you're working tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, in the afternoon and stuff like that. Do a variety of shifts, but yeah, I always seem to catch a lot of the streams and vloggers, which is all right.
Okay. So let's see what's going on in the chat. So Citizen Mikey says hello to you. Jamie Opulence, is it? I don't know how to. Jamie Opulence, is it? Hello. Yeah. Let's have a look. What else? Yeah. Gemini Star says looking forward to some Shane input. Yeah, look, C London says train driver, good money. They're complaining here, they're on about $5,000 a month here, and they're complaining. I don't know if you get that sort of news over where you are, Shane.
No, we can tap into it through the YouTube. Yeah.
Pardon?
We can tap into any news channel through the YouTube.
Yeah. But have you heard about that? That the transport they want to go on strike here in the UK.
Yeah, they're in the UK. They do the same here in Sydney and Melbourne. We actually can't get enough drivers here in Melbourne at the minute, and the company is looking, and there's just not enough people that want to do public transport here as well.
What I mean, for us, because of Brexit, a lot of people put it down to the East Europeans leaving. We got problems at the airport now. There's a lot of staff shortages, and the people who wanted to stay in Brexit, they're like, oh yeah, look, we told you. Now it's all falling apart. What's the reason in Australia, do you think, why they've got a shortage of staff? I've just given you the reason why in the UK, was short because East Europeans are gone. What do you think it is in Australia why you can't get the staff?
Well, at the airports, for instance, with the lockdowns we had here in Melbourne, all the airline staff pretty much lost their jobs. So it was an unreliable industry. A lot of them jumped into public transport for a bit, and then they moved on to other industries because they just weren't happy with the conditions, the rotating work and stuff like that here in Melbourne. But public transport for us during the lockdowns was a steady income. So I got to keep my job. All the businesses were gone. I was just rolling through the streets, land of the zombies.
Yeah. See, I'm very lucky. I am, because I do work. I've got a little job. I work 2 hours a day. I take some, what do you call them? These kids who are not disabled, special needs. Pick 5 of them up, drop them off. It's 2 hours a day, but I'm going to pack that in 3 weeks. I'm going full time on YouTube. But when we had the lockdowns, it didn't really bother me too much. But it must have been terrible for people who lost their jobs and all the rest of it. I just want to say hi to someone there. Yours Travels. I'm glad you're in, because I want to try and get you in on the stream next week. This is Shane. Shane Old Traveller, lives in Perth. He's got up about 3:30 in the morning just to come in and have a chat with us. If you drop me an email in the week, yours, we'll try and organise something for next week. Okay. Alex Waters says, how long does a full circuit of the city take on your team? Hope the tourists are returning. Is that what on the tram? Is that? Yeah, I suppose he's talking to you.
Yep, it's a slow-moving vehicle from the CBD to the end of the terminus on pretty much most lines takes around an hour. It's just up, back and down, back and forth, back and forth. That's pretty much all it is. It's a slow network. It's been around for like 50 to 100 years. It's an aging network too, so it's got a lot of faults and problems. But yeah, it's good.
I've just seen a question for you here, and I've lost it from Clive. There we are. Maybe you can answer that one, Clive.
How do you wrestle like it? Oh, Kolan. No, I actually haven't been to Kolan. I want to go on the next trip, but generally when I hit Pattaya and stuff like that, it's just bars and stuff for me there. Generally, I fly out and go to Chiang-Mai just to relax and get away from the nightlife or Pattaya, the nightclubs and the pubs. But yeah, Lampun's another city I like to go to chill out. But Kolan, I've not been to.
Well, Koh Larn is actually one of the easiest islands to get to if you're in Pattaya, because that's, you know, it's close to Pattaya actually. But those monkeys, you know, they're very devious. I was saying on the stream a few weeks ago, they've got a place called Monkey Mountain in Hua Hin, and I went up there for the first time, and I bought. They've got a little kiosk where you can buy pots of peanuts and feed them to the monkeys, but you don't get a chance because you get mugged by the monkeys. You literally do. I mean, I went in there and I bought these peanuts. I came out. I literally took 3 steps and a monkey jumped at me and just slapped them out of my hand, and about 100 monkeys come in. I thought, right, well, what I'll do, I'll go and get another one, but this time I'll hold it above my head like that. Same thing. I came out, about 3 monkeys ran up me, which of course I shitted my pants when they did that, and I just let go. So yeah, you've got to be careful of those monkeys. Yeah, Gemini Star
Some
says,
of them have rabies and stuff too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, there you go. There's one for you. Look, Shane. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
2-week millionaire. Yep. Pattaya.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
2-week binge. Yep.
How long are you actually going for? You said next time. How many weeks?
12 weeks. It'll be 3 months. I've got to get an STV visa, my understanding is. So this will be the first time that I've got to do it.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it. I was there in December.
Yeah.
Right. There's another one for you. Dave Andrews says, Shane Scoot fly also from Australia to Bangkok, good price. Scoot, I don't know if you've heard of Scoot. Shane, Scoot are they're a subsidiary, is that the right word? Subsidiary of Singapore Airlines. They're like their budget. Singapore Airlines have set it up as a budget airline, but they don't want to call it Singapore Airlines. It's like someone like Hotpoint who make high-end washing machines. They'll bring out another brand of cheaper units just so that they don't conflict with their own brand. But have you heard of Scoot?
I've seen some sort of ad or something on TV. I'm not sure which airline I'm going to fly with to get back there, to be honest. I used to fly Thai or Emirates all the time. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Emirates are very good. Emirates are very good. The only reason I don't fly them because we get direct flights from Heathrow, like you in Perth, but it's about 12 hours for us direct. Right, there's another question for you. I won't bother reading that.
Yeah, Melbourne. Yep. Do you think Australia had an overreaction to COVID? Well, Melbourne was the only city that had the real harsh snap lockdowns. The rest of the country did it a different way. And the businesses here really suffered. Rolling through the streets in the tram, you can see that all the businesses are up for lease. It's really impacted the local economy. A lot of people have gone under.
Yeah. There's one for both of us there. So, hi, Terry. Good to see you in the stream on a Sunday. So you said, hey, Peter, have you or Shane ever been to Chiang Mai area? I have been to Chiang Mai several times. I actually flew up there. I don't know if you know, I lived in Khon Kaen for 2 years in Isan, and I have been to Chiang Mai. I did like it. It was much cooler than down south. For some reason, the Thais there have got lighter skin, but it's surrounded by mountains. There's a lot of, well, when I was there, there was a lot of factories that make pottery and stuff. Have you? And there's also a lot of IT, a lot of younger guys who make a living off the internet. They do drop shipping and that sort of thing. Have you been there, Shane?
Yeah, I love the Loycroc Road area or the walled city. Just a party strip, pubs and restaurants and stuff. It's a chilled out place with Doi Suthep on the mountain and the Winter Palace. I like to go up to Lamphun because I got an expat friend that lives out there. He's got a couple of houses and stuff.
Friend?
It's a Thai family. Yeah.
Oh, it is a friend, not a lady friend then?
Yeah, mate from Melbourne. He actually retired out there.
Okay. When you, let me see what yours is saying, yours travels. Really thinking of a quick 4-week trip to Vietnam if I can get cheap flights. I haven't been, that's one place I haven't been to. Have you ever been, you've been there, haven't you, Shane, Vietnam?
Yeah.
What?
I've been to Hanoi, the old.
Yeah,
Hanoi, the old quarter is iconic. lots of pubs and restaurants. Go up to Halong Bay. It rivals Krabi in the land features with the red rocks in the jungle. It's really iconic. Nha Trang's got a lot of islands you can do hopping on, the North and South Islands. Saigon, you have to go to Saigon as well and see the Parliament with the American choppers and all the war history and stuff there.
Well, you know, you can get a flight from Bangkok to is it Dinok? I'll say that wrong. But you can get a flight for about $50 US. It's quite cheap. And Andrew Hammond, who helped me with my book, plug, he was going to do a motorcycle trip from Hanoi down to I think it was Ho Chi Minh City, which is about 2,000 kilometers, and he invited me to go along with him. And I thought about it, and it was going to take 2 weeks to a month, and I thought taking it easy, and I thought, no, I'd rather do it in Thailand, like Chiang-Mai to Pattaya, something like that. So he's come back to me now. So why don't we do the Thailand trip first, and then maybe later on do the Vietnam trip? I'll be more comfortable with Thailand on that sort of trip. Are you into bikes at all, Shane?
I've ridden a bike a couple of times, but yeah, I'm into vehicles and stuff. I'd want more wheels than two, though, because I just don't trust the roads over in Southeast Asia.
No, it's other people, isn't it? Right, I can answer that one. Bend over. Hi, Shane. How long to take the flight for you to Bangkok? Well, it's 7 hours from Perth, isn't it? Direct.
From Melbourne, it's actually 8 to 9 hours, and it's the first 5 hours is all of Australian territory because Melbourne's at the bottom of Australia. So it's a bit of a long haul, but it's a direct flight to Bangkok.
I'm getting my wires totally mixed up now because I don't know why. Because I was talking about, and you were polite, you didn't say anything. Because I said, you can get a flight direct from Perth to Bangkok, 7 hours. In the back of my brain, I'm thinking you're from Perth, but of course you're not. You're from Melbourne, which is in the south of Australia. And you didn't say to me, no, I'm not from there. You didn't tell me because you were being polite. But I want okay. Right. Kareem Farang from the jungle. If you're flying from London, consider Swiss leaving from London City. Total travel time nearly as fast as direct route. Swiss Airlines have great service, and the food is also very good. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure. Do they have long-term parking at that airport? I know exactly where it is. I used to pass it quite often. Ivor Nappin, is it? Oh, you're talking to someone else again. Right. There's a question for you there, Shane. What does Shane make of an Australian vlogger called Ben Newton? I've never heard of him.
Oh, Ben, he's over in the Philippines at the minute. Is that Ben? Yeah, he's a really good vlogger. He does a lot of streams. He's on YouTube a lot of the time. If you're ever bored for something to do, jump on the YouTube and watch. Just put Ben on. Yeah, he's always in the Philippines, buzzing around, partying and stuff like that. Good.
Normally when people ask questions like that, the guy's got a reputation of being a bit of a dickhead, and they want to get the conversation going. But he's all right, is he?
Yeah, he's not too bad. I don't mind. Yeah, he's good entertainment. He's probably live now.
Yeah. So Liam Harden says Vietnam nowhere near as good as Thailand, food, people, etc. But hey, that's just an opinion. So what's your opinion? Because obviously I can't give an opinion. I haven't been to Vietnam. What's your opinion on that, Shane? Comparing Thailand with Vietnam, give us some good points and some bad points for both countries.
The stir fries are pretty similar, but the Vietnamese faux noodle soups, it's a lot more noodly. It's a lot more watery and stuff like that. They have the advantage of the French breads because it was a French colony. They make some gourmet breads there. So you get these bread rolls that are just, the banh mi. And, the Thai food, it's a lot more, I don't know, it's Thai food. I can see the difference, the stir fries and stuff, but yeah.
Somebody said to me that the Vietnamese food is more fragrant, whereas the Thai food is just spice.
Yeah, the Thais do overload the spice and stuff. But the Vietnamese, they had a Chinese rule for 1,000 years, so it's more Chinese style with the rices.
Yeah. What about for the single guys? What's the girly scene like in Vietnam?
It's a lot more difficult. It's actually illegal in Vietnam because of the socialist government.
Well, it is in Thailand.
There is Vung Tau, the island off Saigon. You get girls there, so I don't know how they get around that. That must be bribing the Vietnamese police.
Yeah, let me just that's it. Just got rid of a troll there. Yeah, so for you personally, why would somebody want to go to Vietnam as opposed to Thailand? Then what would be the enticement?
To see the different cultures that live within Southeast Asia. The smells and the feeling of the heat and stuff is all similar, but the people are totally different. The architecture styles, you walk through Hanoi with the French chateaus and all the ex-colony stuff, and then you see the Chinese influence throughout the Vietnamese architecture. It's like a totally different place.
What you're talking about, the architecture and everything, that got me when I worked in India for a year in that, the hotel they made a movie about called the Taj Mahal Hotel. I actually worked in that hotel for a year before all the bad stuff happened. I was there with my wife. She kind of worked in the, because she's Korean, she was like a hostess on the door, showing people to the table, it's better than sitting in the room, right? And that's what kind of not shocked me, that's the wrong word. That's what I really noticed when I first arrived in what was called Bombay, now Mumbai. You look around and it was like the buildings are like London. It's like London was in the 60s, and you look at it, you think, wow, it's you can see the influence, and I guess, and when I was in Cambodia as well, I was in the capital, I can't pronounce it. Cambodia was a French colony as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They didn't do too much with Cambodia in terms of development. I'm really upset with what the French have done there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you do see those colonial buildings in the capital.
Yeah, Phnom Penh. Yeah, they do in Phnom Penh, but the rest of it's pretty undeveloped.
Yeah,
the style of Buddha there is also different. The Thais really celebrate the Buddha, whereas Cambodia and Vietnam, it's more reserved. It could be because of the government, but it's a different style of Buddha.
Yeah, I don't think that's a serious question, but I'll put it up because I know James isn't a troll.
I've ran over a wombat. They
What
can
is a
roll your
wombat?
car, but generally we don't eat them. Yeah, they're a little nugget.
Is
a lot of people die on Australian roads.
Is the wombat the one that looks like a really cuddly teddy bear that climbs the trees?
It's the cute one that lives in a hole in the ground. It's
Right.
it's bigger than a pig. And if you're in a car, do not hit them. Slow right down because they'll flip your car. They're a real road hazard here in Australia, the wombat. Yeah.
All right. I'm getting complaints in now, Shane. I'm getting complaints. Look, Biggest Dickers says, tell Peter it's pronounced Melbourne. Because I always say, typical English people, we say Melbourne. That's how it looks. That's how it's spelled. That's how it looks for us. But obviously, I'm saying it wrong and it's pronounced Melbourne. But don't you just love that name, Biggest Dickers?
Yeah. Look at his picture too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just put that up, Danish bacon. Yeah, I got rid of that guy. I did spot it because I don't know where Franco's not around tonight. He's working, so I've got to be extra vigilant tonight. And I did spot it, and I've got rid of him. You always get a few dickheads in, right? Okay, is that for you?
Hey, Shane, do you plan on living in Thailand full time? At some point, I would love to, but I have a job here in Melbourne, and I run a small real estate portfolio, so that's going to keep me in Australia a lot. My future in Thailand, I want to do extended holidays, be there a lot more in the future. That's my goal.
Good. Are you? A little bit of a delay there. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Are you giving backhanders to some of my viewers? Look,
this guy's great. I can feel the energy. Yeah. Backhanders, yeah. I used to be a security guard, but it didn't work out well for me.
No. Well, I'll go try and get yours on for next week if I remember. If he drops me an email, right? What do you make of that comment from J Maz? Is it?
North and South Vietnam. Yeah, there's a silent protest in Saigon City compared to Hanoi. Hanoi has all the socialist, communist flags out on display. They walk around proudly in their military uniforms, the army and the police and stuff there. But in Saigon, they fold the flags over, and there's a lot less display of the color red and the yellow star. So yeah, you can notice the difference between the two cultures in North and South. It's still impacted.
Is there much influence? Not influence. That's the wrong word. Is there much signs of obviously the the Vietnam War went on for many years. Is there much to see that's related to that in South Vietnam?
Yeah, they have the parliament there. They got some old American choppers that are displayed there, so you can see where they took off from. They got the War Museum that shows some of the crimes and stuff that went on during the war. There's tunnels you can go see down at the Mekong Delta, and you can fire firearms. at the rifle ranges, but the M16s are always, they put the sights out. So the AK-47s you fire, they're deadly accurate. You fire the M16s and they're put off. It's
yeah. When my wife and I were in China, you could go to a range and they had all these guns there, and you just paid for the ammunition. It was quite cheap, and we shot, like you say, M16s, AK-47s. We shot Uzis. I even shot something that was designed. It had a big round. It had a round. I think it was a Russian gun, with a round, what do you call it? Not the clip, it was round. But awesome. But I also read, because I'm a bit of a Second World War history buff myself, and I've read several stories about the Americans in the Vietnam War. They used to, a lot of the time, they'd chuck the M16 and they'd pick up an AK-47 from a dead soldier, because they were just so much more reliable in that terrain, in that, in that jungle terrain. The AK-47s, you could bury them in mud, dig them up, and they'd work. Whereas the M16s were a precision weapon, and in that jungle environment, they used to jam, stick, and oh, you're there, Franco. You're there. You're blind. I've been here all night. I am blind. But you did say you weren't going to be here. You said you might be here because you're not home, are you? All right, Franco. Apologies. Thank you for being here. We haven't had a pizza for about 3 weeks. Okay, do you know this guy here? Look,
Shani, you're my trend. Oh, it could be. I don't know. Yeah, if you're living in the west of Melbourne, that definitely could be.
Okay, there's one for you again.
What's your typical day like in Pattaya? Well, wake up. First thing you do is hit the pool, then go for a massage, then you got to go get some food, restaurants, coffee shops, and then in the afternoon, I like the open-ended beer bars and stuff like that. Getting on the beer, I can't get enough of that. And picking up the girls.
Are you a bit of a monga when you're there?
I most definitely am a monga. I've been a monga for a long time, but I'm going to ease off it as I go to spend prolonged periods of time there. My body just can't handle the abuse. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So we're talking about Vietnam. Have you been to the Philippines?
Yes, I have. I've been to Manila and Cebu. I've not actually been to Angeles or Boracay, but my next trip to the Philippines will be Palau, and I hear that's got the most beautiful land features, the crystal water, Palau, the jungle, the heat, the white sands. I've seen pictures of it. I really want to get there, Palau.
Well, I briefly went to Manila in the 90s, and there was a big bar scene going on there. It was in an area called Makati. Probably said that wrong. And the mayor at the time closed it all down. I remember you'd go in and they'd pull shutters down behind you. And, I had quite a good time. But I found in the Philippines back then, I don't know about now, I only went to visit Manila, and I found it was quite a polluted city. I found the infrastructure wasn't as good. But, of course, the great thing about the Philippines is just about everybody speaks real good English.
Yep, the English is incredible. In Makati now, they have a new section called Greenbelt. It is ultra modern. It's something like you'd have in Korea or Japan, I felt. I've not been to Korea or Japan, but it's just ultra modern. They've really done it up. The Makati Greenbelt zone, there's bars, there's restaurants. It's like a mall. Everything's high class.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. Drum magazine from Broadcaster. Yeah, it's the drum. That's it. They hold something like, is it 75 or 50 rounds, something like that? Great gun to fire. Anyway, just on that subject of firing guns, my wife, we are actually separating. I'm not going to get into that again, but she's quite a small woman. She's from South Korea. She comes up to about here on me. And I gave her an AK-47 to shoot. We let her shoot an AK-47. She fired it, and it nearly took off, because, the Chinese guy held it and showed her how to put it into a shell and everything. But, of course, it's got so much recoil that when she fired it, it was like it nearly jumped out of her hands. I should have given her an Uzi instead. You can do that with one hand and, right. Okay, let's get back on track. Yeah, so the Philippines. Where else did you say you've been in Southeast Asia?
Cambodia, Siem Reap, Angkor Wat, Tom City. Yep.
Right. Where did you go? The capital or Siem Reap?
I've been twice. I've been to Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. So yeah, I've been around there a little bit.
How do you say it again? The last one.
Siem Reap, Phnom Penh.
I can't. I've never been able to pronounce it. Say it one more time.
Phnom
Penh. Like pen.
Yeah.
Phnom Penh.
With a H on the end.
Phnom Penh.
Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant. Yeah. When I was, again, it was a long time ago. I remember driving into the city. It was very dark. The streetlights were very bad. And I remember the road was very dusty. It wasn't concrete back then. When was the last time you were there?
It must have been 2017 or 16. The roads throughout Siem Reap, which is the jungle city, that they've actually tarred a lot of them out there to get to Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom, the ancient cities that were built like before the time of Jesus and stuff like that. And yeah, they're starting to do more there, development. I think it's Chinese money that's coming into the place.
As is, yeah, a lot of Chinese money coming in. Sean Young says, love VN, is it VN10? Just applied for 30-day visa for November, cheap as chips, as hot as hell. Martin Ryder, range in Phnom Penh, RPG at a water buffalo. Yeah, the Chinese used to do it. They used to, if you want, we didn't do this, but you mean you can shoot a buffalo, really? A range in Phnom Penh, RPG at a water buffalo. Yeah, it's so cruel. I mean, I remember when we shot the in the range in China, just outside Beijing, you could actually buy a dozen chickens and they'd peg them in to the end of the range, and you could. Terrible. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but you know, whatever. I suppose it turns some people on. Right. Okay. Right. See, London. I have a Vietnamese neighbor who will never return to Vietnam as his family backed the Americans. The people have long memories. Okay. I watched a very interesting. It actually brought a tear to my eye. I watched a documentary about these kids who were born. They had American fathers, and a lot of the Americans just took off after the war. Forgive the pun. And these kids were left. But I'm not saying that they abandoned them, but for whatever reason, a lot did end up in America. But these Vietnamese, these half American, half Vietnam kids, obviously they grew up, and the documentary is about what they went through growing up, and they were treated as third-class citizens. You know, people looked down on them, called them names. A lot of them never ever got educated. A lot of them became prostitutes in brothels because they had no other options. And it was a very sad documentary, you know. And it's just the way of the world, the way things happen, isn't it? And I watched another documentary where some girl she reunited with her American dad, who is now very old, maybe 70 odd, and that was quite touching as well. Right, okay. Karam Farang from the jungle. That's a mouthful. You wouldn't want to say that when you've had a few whiskeys, would you? Kareem Farang from the jungle. I shot a rocket. Hey, doing one better here now. I was in a tank. No, I shot a rocket-propelled grenade in Cambodia about 15 years ago. First pull of the trigger, nothing happened, and it had a misfire. That was like me in Pattaya. That it was at the end for me. Okay, so it's all gun talk now. Right, let's see if we can get some sensible questions now. Clive, there's a good display of Thai planes at Udon Thani Airport. Also, the Americans waterboarded the. Yeah, we know about that one. Yeah, okay. See if we've got any questions for Shane now. Good evening if you just joined us. Sunday night stream. Been going for almost an hour now. We're just giving it a go on a Sunday. See how it goes. And my guest tonight is Shane Old Traveller from Melbourne. What was the other city? What was the other city he told me to say the other way? I can't remember.
Sydney. I'm originally from Sydney area, so I'm a bit of a trader. I left New South Wales and now live in Victoria. So I've jumped cities.
There you go. Right. Ivor Napion, is it? Erwin, you can get sick but rare, mainly itch for days and annoying. Check with your doctor first. There, cream for many pharmacies. Okay. Okay. McLaren F1 race. Peter, watch an Amazon Prime Grand Tour, Seaman Clarkson, etc. Go through the waterways of. Yeah, I've actually caught some of that. Funny enough, Clive. That's the one. What's that program called? He doesn't do it anymore. Fifth Gear. That's it. Where they were making rafts and going across the river and stuff like that. What's his name? Clarkson. He makes the show, doesn't he? Without Clarkson, it isn't Top Gear. Right. Okay, Martin Ryder says, what's that?
I've not actually been to Laos, not yet. I do want to travel to other countries throughout Southeast Asia, but Laos is definitely on the list.
Yeah, I haven't been to Laos either. Martin Ryder, highly recommended book from Amazon, Guns, Girls and Ganja, Off the Rails in Phnom Penh by Amit Giboy, is it? Yeah, okay. I'll leave that there for a little while. Right, Yoss Travel said, and being honest, I have done at least 30 states of America. Right, I'll put that up because this is what I want to talk to you about on the stream when you come in, Yoz. So you put, I'm being honest, I've done at least 30 states of America over 25 years. I have fell out of love with USA and so expensive. Well, I've only been to America. I went to America about 2 or 3 times, and it was in the 90s, and I was fascinated by the place. I was fascinated by America. The first thing, have you been to the States, Shane?
No, I've got family that live there, but I've not actually been there yet because the high economy.
It's amazing. I mean, it probably wouldn't hit you as much as it does us in the UK because, you know, when I landed at LAX, I came out and everything is huge. You see the highways are huge, the cars are huge, the people are everything's huge, you know, compared to us in the UK, and it's quite a culture shock when you go to the when you go to the USA from the UK. I suppose it's the other way around for them as well. I watched a video from an American woman. She was driving on a country road in England. She's saying, "This is what we've got to put up with in England. You can't overtake." But of course, we have motorways as well here now, right? Just seeing if we've got any questions here. Right. Mark Hanley says, sneaky mongering in Laos, far better looking girls. All right. I don't want to keep
it's a communist country too, isn't it? Yeah. So they must have strict rules and regulations on that type of thing. So they've got to be careful, even though you can do it in Cambodia. Yeah.
Well, you do know that, Shane, you do know prostitution in Thailand is illegal, don't you?
Yeah, I've heard that, but it's hard to believe. But yeah, I'd never admit in Thailand that I do anything like that. But it's different to prostitution, but isn't it? It's yeah.
Well, it's in the Royal Gazette. It is the law. It states that prostitution is illegal, any kind of prostitution. Now, does it go on? Well, it's a YouTube channel, so I won't say anything. But yeah, I know what you mean. Right. Okay, talk to someone else. Right, let's see what Paul Hoskins got to say. The bar girls will love you for as long as you like if you keep giving them money. All right. Okay. How do I pronounce that? Is it Joey D? Oh, I can't pronounce it. I've lived in Laos for 14 years. It's very different from Thailand. So give us a few comments. What's different about it? Is it better? Is it worse? Are the girls more attractive? Is it stricter? Okay. Let me put that's not offensive. Let me put that up there. Ivor says, no, it wasn't that one. Right. Stanley Stewart says, love the Yankees. Laugh out loud. Been a few times. Yeah, we never had a problem. They were very, very friendly when I went to Vegas. I was in California, and yeah, it was great. I had a good time. I remember once I don't know which area it was in because we hired a car, a friend of me and a couple of friends, and we went to this. We wanted to eat in the evening, but we were in the wrong area in California. And we had to put some fuel in the car, and we got out and we were talking to each other. And the guy in the petrol station, he said, listen, you guys aren't from around here. You want to get in that car and, you know, scarper, he said, because there are a few gangs around here. And we're like, oh, right. And, you know, when someone tells you that, you kind of pricks your ears up. But we drove from California through the Death Valley 4 hours. Great drive. Got stopped by the highway patrol for speeding. My friend, I said, slow down. We're going to get stopped. He says, there's no cops out here. We're in the desert. And, you know, yeah. Right. Okay. Liam. Yeah. Would you find that, Shane?
Yeah, crossing the road in Saigon, the bikes and stuff. All you hear is beep, 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 beep. It's got the worst traffic in Southeast Asia, Saigon. It's heavily populated. There's less cars, less taxis, and there's just bikes everywhere. You've got to go there to see it. It's iconic.
Why do you think, you know, out of all these countries in Southeast Asia, I've been to a lot of them, you've been to a lot of them, a lot of guys in here have been to them. What do you think about why do you think Thailand kind of stands out above the crowd? I mean, I've got my reasons, but what do you think, Shane? Why do you think Thailand just peaks it above all the other ones? Do you think it's simply the girls or something more?
It's more than the girls. It's a land of smiles. Everyone's happy to see that. It's an outward smile. They are the most friendliest people in Southeast Asia outwardly. And it's got the most developed infrastructure in terms of tourism. You got malls, you got restaurants, you got Western food, you got bars, you got nightclubs. It's got everything. Thailand.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to beat it, isn't it? Thailand. People ask me, you know, they say, you know, there's other countries around, but you know, like you said, I mean, you've got the first thing is the infrastructure. It's so easy to get around. It's cheap to get around. The food is absolutely delicious. Like you said, people are great. If you want to, it's quite easy to find a regular girlfriend if you want one, any age. You know, and what about getting in trouble there as far as getting into fights and things? Because I've never ever over 3 decades, I've never ever had an issue. No Thai has ever put their hand on me, try to give me a slap, anything like that, because I behaved myself. But I have seen guys get into fights. I've seen gangs of Thais attack a Western guy. What about your experience, Shane? Have you witnessed anything like this, or have you had any problems yourself?
No, I've had no problems myself. Yeah, no, I've had no problems myself. To me, Thailand is safer than what I would go through here in Melbourne if I was to go out. Especially Paddy, we walking around Chiang-Mai, the streets get a bit quiet there, but I've had no encounters, no violence. I've never actually visualized any violence in the 11 months I've been there. And all I hear is good things. But the media, I do read some of the stories. If Thailand blows up, it does blow up. But my personal experience, I've had nothing.
But don't you find in Thailand that most of the guys who get in trouble, they kind of bring it on themselves? I mean, I'll give you an example. I put a video up last year, but I took it down because it was quite a violent video and YouTube didn't like it, and they didn't take it down. But I looked at it and I thought, well, do I really want this up? It was all fights and people getting kicked in the head in Walking Street and stuff like that. But a lot of the things that I've seen, guys have brought it on themselves. Like you'll get a regular Thai guy who's got a girlfriend, and you get these guys who go to Thailand with the attitude like every girl's got a price on her head, and it's not true, as you know. And I've seen guys mess about with a Thai guy's girlfriend, inappropriately, and he's just flipped, and that's it. Good night, Vienna. Have you witnessed anything like this yourself?
I've not witnessed it, but don't be ignorant in Thailand. Keep away from drugs and stuff. Just play smart, I guess. Yeah. If you do the right thing, then they'll do the right thing by you. What
about this new law that they've brought out? The marijuana, they've legalized it now. What do you think about that? Are you into that yourself, or?
I used to do it when I was younger, but I've not done it. I won't be getting into it. I don't ever drink spirits in Thailand. I just stick to the beers.
Yeah, I mean, a guy wrote to me on the channel and he said, "Oh, great, a young guy." He said, "Oh, they've legalized it. Would it be okay if I took a bag of it from my own country on the plane?" And I'm like, "No, of course it wouldn't be okay. What are you thinking? It's not. Thailand is not the new Amsterdam. You can't walk down the street smoking a spliff. It's very strict. There's certain chemicals that are missing from the marijuana in Thailand. But I've never touched drugs myself." Right. Am I pronouncing your name right? Joey DeVere. Okay. Well, accommodation is a bit more expensive. Infrastructure is less developed. There are no girly bars that you see in Thailand. Come to Laos for the culture and the natural beauty. Okay. Well, there's a lot of that in Thailand as well. I mean, Thailand's not just about, I know guys joke, they come on here and high mongers, high shaggers, and it's all about the girls. And my thumbnails have all got girls with rather big watermelons. It's all for fun, but there is a lot of culture in Thailand. It's not only about that. I know guys who have been going to Thailand for 10, 15 years, and they only go to Pattaya. They land in Bangkok, get a taxi to Pattaya, have 2 weeks, and come back to the UK. And that's it. They've never been anywhere else in Thailand. Some of them have just about been to Bangkok. You got guys like that where you come from, Shane?
Yeah, plentiful. There's a lot of guys that just hit up Pattaya and stuff. I've been around Thailand. I've experienced some of the high culture, such as the city of Lumpur in the north, driving through there with the trees, and they put the things around the massive trees. Oh, it's iconic. Yeah, it's a peaceful city. The border does well it.
When you went to Cambodia, did you go to the killing fields and the museum, the old school that they converted with all the photographs with people with a terror on their faces? S22, I think it's called. Did you visit there?
S21. Yeah, S21. I've been there. Yeah, correct. Yeah. I've been through there.
Go on, carry on.
I've read some of the books. Yeah. I've read some of the books. I did Cambodian Vietnamese history at high school, so it had a specific meaning for me to go there from early on.
Yeah, what did it for me on that S21? It was a school that converted it into a prison, and anybody could get arrested. You could say, "Oh, my neighbor said something bad about the government," and that's it. The whole family was gone. And you've been inside that place, right? You said. So I think
correct. Yeah.
What got me, it took me about 3 days to forget about it. It really played on my mind. But I think what got me was when you go in and you see all those people, young girls, boys, the walls are covered in photographs. They've got a number, and you can actually see the terror in their face, because obviously they've all been interrogated, have been through the mill, and then they sit them up and take photographs of them, and they still have kind of dry blood on the floor from the I don't know if you've seen that under the bed, that bed that they used to chain them to. And the other thing that was shocking were those temporary cells. They were probably that wide, and they put an ammunition box in there as a toilet. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Then the same day, that was in the morning. In the afternoon, we went to the killing fields themselves. There were lots of killing fields, but the one we went to is the one with the skulls in the glass case. I don't know if that was the one you went to. Do you remember the tree next to the pit? Our guide, he said there was an indentation. No, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to talk about that because one, it's bad for the stream and it'll get people down. Let's move on. Right, Devil's Den. Shane, what's your favorite soy area of Pattaya?
Number 6 or 7.
You dirty, disgusting man. Number 6.
I can't get no. Yes.
I met a guy online. I'm not going to make any fun of him, but I met a guy online. He was from Australia, actually. He met a girl online in soy 6. And he actually fell in love with her, and he was sending her money. And I said to him, "What does she do?" And he says, "Oh, she works in a bar, but she doesn't go with customers. She's just in there for drinks." And I was gonna try and help him out, and I did kind of hint. You can't tell people, they've got to experience it for themselves. He was sending her money all the time. He was saying, "Yeah, but after work, we go to sleep and she's got the phone on her pillow and we talk." I mean, I spoke to the guy since, and when he went there, he didn't. He woke up. He woke up and smelled the coffee, as a popular saying. But he was saying to me at the time, this girl, she doesn't want to work in the bar, and although she wears a bikini and she's hanging out the front and shouting at guys, she only has drinks and then she goes home. And I'm like, no, she doesn't. She doesn't only have drinks and go home. She'll be like a train up there. Right, Dave Andrew, thank you, mate. Very generous of you. Enjoying the chat today with Peter and guests. That's Shane Old Traveller. Very generous. If I ever bump into Shane, I'll buy him a couple of beers with that. All right. And you never know, I might do. We'll go to the same area. But thank you, Dave. Okay, let's see what everybody's saying. Yours again. All I can compare is Vietnam is slightly more expensive than Pattaya, and that's just watching vloggers. Well, Pattaya is cheap, compared to Bangkok, actually. There's a golden silence there because I thought you were going to jump in and give your roar there, Shane. Yeah. That's why, because I interrupted you a couple of times, so I sort of hung back, and there was that golden moment there. Right, okay.
We've got Dave in the chat from Melbourne, Australia. He's in my area of Melbourne. Yeah.
Is that Dave Andrew? Which Dave are you talking about?
Dave Walters.
Oh, is he in this stream now or not?
David Walters. Yeah. He just popped on. It's 5 a.m. here, so he must be getting up early for work.
Do you know him, or you've just seen him on other streams?
No, I've seen him on many other streams. We chat through it and stuff. I know his local pub, the Deer Park Hotel.
It's weird, isn't it? Because when you watch streams, have you noticed certain types of streams, you get the same people in all those streams? So, like, a lot of my viewers that I get on here, I see them in Ed Sweeney's stream. I see them in Buzzin' Pattaya. Those kind of, I see everything Pattaya. I see the same kind of group. Do you notice that when you're watching streams or videos?
Dutch Ferenc, Danish Bacon, they're all here. Yep, I feel like I know them already.
Yeah. James Casey says Vietnam landscape is more diverse and is perhaps more beautiful than Thailand. There are places in Thailand. Thailand's a big country. 80 million people. I think there's 10 million in Bangkok. There's a lot to see when you get out in the sticks. Terry says, follow-up question. Would you say, I'll let you answer that, Shane.
Follow-up question. Would you say Chiang Mai is a good place to settle? Yes, it is a peaceful city, but the smoke in the, they do a burn-off season and it's heavily polluted because they just burn the jungle dry. All the fields and stuff, they just light it up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That once a year burn is terrible. I remember when I was working in Singapore for a while, we had the same thing, and it was like when the smoke came across, it was almost, the scene was almost let me get this word out, apocalyptic. I haven't said it right, but like one of those films where the world's coming to the end and the sky goes dark. Yeah. And it really was that, this thick smoke. It's not like when you have a bonfire in your back garden. I mean, it is like night comes over, it hides the sun, and it's quite awful, actually, isn't it?
It's thick jungle smoke. It's a grey sort of a browny colour too. I've not seen anything like it, and it's just everywhere. Even the bushfires we have here in Australia.
I'm surprised that they allow it because it's so harmful to everybody, and it puts a lot of people who live in Chiang Mai, for instance, Thais I'm talking about. They actually move out of the city for a month when they have this burning. They'll go and stay with family because it's just so awful. Right. Liam Harden, you pay roughly $30 plus a photo to get your 30-day visa for Vietnam, and then immigration make you pay again when you arrive. Experience it for yourself. Big difference to Thai. Yeah, well, they want to make money, don't they? But it's $30 the end of the world. I know where you're coming from, but it wouldn't bother me too much. Okay. I don't know if that's somebody you know there.
Yeah. Lots of people know me. I'm Melbourne's most hated tram driver, I would say.
They're most hated tram drivers, or
Yeah.
why is that?
I seem to a bit of a shit magnet. All the stuff happens on my tram.
Do you get an opportunity? You're single. Do you get an opportunity to meet many ladies on the tram, or are you boxed in your own sort of area?
I'm in a box. I work 5 to 6 days a week, mainly nights and weekends, so I don't have much of a life here in Melbourne. I just save the money and travel to Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, and working nights, of course, you're going to be on a better rate, aren't you? I guess.
Yeah, that's it. True. Yeah, and the weekend work too. So I chase after the dollars for the holidays.
I think I'd do the same if I was single. Right. See London. I have I've read that. Let's get down to some of the newer comments. I must be about half an hour behind here. So I've lost you on that screen now. There we are. You're back. Yeah. Well, that was a sad day in the world of sport, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's terrible for here in Australia. Australia's number one spin bowler. That was terrible. 53. Where was he? The Southern Islands of Thailand. Yeah, that's
and
I
think he just had a massage, hadn't he? They got it on CCTV. There was a massage girl either going in or coming out. Did you see that?
Yeah. I actually walked past Shane Warne. He used to live in Brighton here in one of the better suburbs here in Melbourne. He's got a wife and a kid. Oh, his family. Oh, it's just terrible. That was really
terrible.
sad.
It's young, isn't it? It's young, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was adopted at a young age, and my adopted father had a massive heart attack at 47, and he died. Can you imagine 47?
Yeah.
That's very young now, isn't it? There's one for you, Shane. You can have a read of that while I'm having a sneaky one here.
Have either of you been in Telephone Box Bar in Pattaya? Telephone Box, is that off Walking Street or something like that? I'm not sure whether I've been there.
No, what that is, that's on the dark side. I haven't been there before, but people have told me about it. And it's kind of, you go into this telephone box, it's kind of like a hidden away entrance. And apparently it's say in a polite way. Well, you can imagine what goes on there. It's, a little bit of debauchery, that sort of thing. Okay. Yeah, I suppose, when you read that comment there, I suppose it depends. I'm having a cheeky little beer here. I know it's early morning for you, isn't it? So you'll be wanting a coffee probably, not a beer.
I'm just getting the echo on my system from last night.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, some of these streams I've done in the past, I go on and I say to myself, right, there's going to be a maximum time of an hour and a half, 2 hours, and most time I'm quite, I'm quite okay. I've done streams where I've still been going at 4 o'clock in the morning. And people in Pattaya are waking up and they've left messages that said, "Are you still on? I went to bed and you were going." But the thing is, if you're enjoying it and you're having a beer, you don't want to stop. It's go on all night. Just with that comment that's up there now, the only thing I was going to say on that was, I suppose it depends what you want out of a trip to Southeast Asia. If you're only going for the girls, then obviously Pattaya is your number one choice. But if you want a bit more out of the country you're visiting, then there are a lot of options. Okay, I think we're talking about the telephone box there. Martin Ryder says, "Star, yes, so young to be." Okay, that's terrible. When I was said a massage girl was going in or going out, I nearly cracked one out there, but I thought, no, people might come in and have a go at me. I wasn't going to go that bad. But I thought, no, I'll keep it zipped because I might say the wrong thing and people will have a go at me. And then he comes in and says that, so I would have been okay.
T. Nguyen's got a comment there, Shane. Do you think Vietnam is better than Thailand to retire in? Is it possible to retire in Vietnam with the restrictions and stuff? Because their government's quite serious. It's a socialist government. They rolled it back from communists. But generally in anything like the pandemic, they just booted all the Westerners the farang out. That was one of the first things they did.
Yeah, I mean, if you see any questions here that are aimed at you, and I miss them because they go so fast, I'm thinking about you, me, what's going on. Just jump in and feel free to answer them. Okay, let me try and get some of the more recent comments. Who haven't we read out? Right, Nick T, what you're saying? I had 3 great weeks in Cambodia in February, returning next month, crossing border this time at, is it Peapot? After a few days in Thailand. I suppose it all depends on age and health as well, doesn't it? Some people just don't like a lot of traveling. You know, they like to get to their destination, book into a nice hotel, and then relax. Other people like to, you know, get a backpack on and go for it, as it were.
Courses for courses. Different cities and different islands and stuff have different entertainment. So you pick your location and it'll show you what you want to see and stuff. So do a bit of research, jump on YouTube, and yeah, you'll soon find it, what you're looking for.
Yeah, Mike Burgess says people go to Thailand wanting to have fun, presuming mean the ladies. The rest of Asia is filled with tourists that want to mark a bunch of tourist sites. Yeah. Have you ever been in, when you're in Bangkok, have you ever gone through a period where you were a real tourist? I mean, and what I mean by that is you'd go and visit temples and have a trip on the water and all this sort of thing. Have you ever been one for that? Are you not really interested in all that?
No, I still do it today. Sometimes I just want to do something different in Asia, and I'll go for a tour down the boats, jump on a train, see where it goes, get a taxi back, go to the palaces and stuff. I've done trips where I haven't mongered at all in Bangkok, stay around the Khao San Road area and the backpacker scene, and just go to MBK, check out the Royal Siam malls and stuff. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to do the same thing all the time, every trip.
Yeah. I mean, talking of malls, have you ever been to that next to the river? They've got that real high-end mall. It's called Siam Icom. Have you been there? I mean, it's top. Yeah. It's so top end. The fruit, they don't just put like oranges in a box, apples in that box. When I was here, they actually polish. Well, I don't know if they put polish on them, but they're all shining. They put them in their own individual kind of wrappers, and each apple or orange or whatever it is stacked with a stalk perfectly straight. I mean, it's like it doesn't look like real fruit. I was shocked. I went up to the top floor and there was a shop that had Porsches in it in a mall. You know, there was a whole area of this Icom Siam where they were selling cars in shops. It was a shop in a mall, but they had a couple of Porsches in there. Did you see that, or you're not been in there?
I've been to all the malls. I used to have a Thai girlfriend that showed me around the city and stuff like that. So they took me to all the hotspot locations and stuff. But going there on my own, I haven't been able to find all the locations that I've previously seen, which is why I want to spend more time in Bangkok.
I was just smiling there because when you said I've got a girlfriend who takes me around all the malls, I was like, here we go. Gold shops are that way. Gold shops are that way. Do not stop going. Do not collect $200. Gold shop there. Carry on to the mobile phone shop, and on the way out, the luxury handbags are on the ground floor just before you leave. Make sure she doesn't miss it. Right, only in Thailand. Liam Harden, I noticed that I was in the middle of Sukhumvit and the traffic was crazy, but it was also quiet with nobody bibbing their horn. Yeah, Sukhumvit, they don't tend to, Thailand, they don't tend to over beep their horns, as it were. That would get on my nerves. But I tell you what, I don't know how you feel about these, Shane, but what really gets on my nerves in Thailand is when you go to a place like Hua Hin or Pattaya, you know, you've been out most of the night. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. For you, it's the middle of the night, and you get those BART buses that come around. They've got a display of boxing or something they're advertising, and you've got an overexcited guy on a microphone. Sounds like he's on speed, shouting at the top of his voice, and it kind of takes so long to get to where your hotel is. And then it trundles off in the distance, and you finally think, I can sleep again. 5 minutes later, another one comes along. Have you experienced them?
Yeah, that's right. The Bangla Stadium. Yeah, getting them watching the live kickboxing there. Yeah, that's good entertainment.
Yeah. Okay. Mike Burgess, the Philippines is fun because the people are the friendliest in Asia. I don't know if they're the friendliest. So the Thais are hard to beat.
A good English in the Philippines. You can communicate to them.
Yeah. Scott G says, agree. Most guys who get into trouble in Thailand usually bring it on themselves. Yeah, they normally argue about a bill or something like that. I mean, we've all seen it, haven't we? You see, for me, if nobody likes to be ripped off, but if I'm in a bar and I think, well, that bill isn't mine, I will say to them, I say, look, I've had 3 beers, I've counted them, I'm not drunk or anything. There's 5 bills here, but I've only had 4. And if they're like, no, you had 5. I'm like, no, I didn't. Honestly, you know me. I've been in here before. I'm not, you know. And if they keep on and say, no, you have to pay, it's 5. I'll say, okay, fair enough. And maybe I forgot, and I'll pay it, and I'll never go in there again. That's how I roll. I don't you know, I don't take it further than that.
Yeah, passive response is always needed. You don't want to escalate the situation and stuff. You just got to play it smart.
Yeah. Drunk. Paulie Buffalo says drunk loudmouths get themselves into trouble. Yeah. A lot of naughty boys, Thailand. It attracts bad sorts, I feel. Yeah. I wonder if I've deleted it.
Not in every case.
Yeah, you know, on my Friday streams, I show a lot of little clips from Thailand, and there was a guy the police were chasing him in a condominium or somewhere, a small hotel, and he was high on drugs, and you know they were beating him with truncheons. I think he jumped out of a window in the end, but you know, I watched it and I thought, you know, how the hell can you you know, get yourself into that kind of a situation? It's not what you go to Thailand for, is it? Okay, I think this is for you.
Shane, have you travelled or camped in the Northern Territory? Any trips stay with the tribe? Northern Territory here in Australia. Yeah, I've been through Darwin and stuff, Lynchfield and stuff. Tribes in Thailand, only through expat mates that live outside of Lamphun. I've seen districts and villages up there. In every village, they seem to have a Buddhist shrine and stuff. That's what really stood out to me.
Yeah. Okay, some interesting comments. I won't read them all out. I'll put a few of these up. Yeah, a lot of people talking about weed. Okay, Tommy Robinson followers. Hey, I'd be interested to know why it's X. Not that I am a follower myself, but it's just interesting that you put X. Right. Hey, Peter, have you or Shane experienced racism in Thailand? Nationalism is increasing in Southeast Asia. I haven't. The only sort of race. Well, do you want to answer it first, or shall I? I'll answer it. Well, didn't I? Bit of a delay. Okay, I'll carry on. Then I'll shut up. You can do it then. No, I mean, as far as racism goes, I don't suffer personally. I've never suffered from racism because I'm white and they're Asian. It's more like, oh, he's a stupid foreigner. They don't know. You know, that's you sometimes get that kind of attitude. But other than that, no. How about you?
Just for rank, I had one instance when I was putting sunscreen on myself when I was new to Phuket, just at the beach of Patong, because you can't wear sunscreen into the water. And I was literally, it was a little girl that came up and grabbed my hand and took me off the beach. She was yelling at me. I didn't understand what was going on. And all she was saying was farang, farang. And I had to get the towel, take the sunscreen off me before they let me go. And I went back to the hotel and had a wash. That was the only dumb farang thing I've encountered there. But yeah, the word farang, I guess it is a bit racist. But it's
where were you when that happened?
Where was I? That was Phuket, 2015.
So what you're saying? You were on the beach. You had suntan lotion on because you were all shiny. Yep. And how old do you think the girl was who grabbed your arm, your hand?
Oh, she was only young, probably not even 20. Could have been 18.
So she's seen you wearing sunscreen lotion, knows it's illegal.
Putting it on. That was thick Australian sunscreen. It makes your body turn really white because it poisons the coral. I found out what it was later, but I didn't know what was going on. It was one of my first experiences in Thailand.
Yeah, well, what I've just put out, I'm not promoting it, I'm just stating the fact. I've just put out 2 videos called Volume 1 and Volume 2, 30 tips, things to know about before you go to Thailand. And one of them was about the sunscreen. I said, be aware that sunscreen is actually illegal. There's very high fines. You were lucky you didn't get a fine because the fine starts at $600 for putting sunscreen on. But, you know, if you go to your hotel pool and you wear sunscreen, it's absolutely fine. It's only, like you quite rightly said, it's illegal to have it on the beach because it damages the coral. But I've since found out that you can actually buy a sunscreen that doesn't damage the coral because some of the paddy divers use it. Somebody wrote to me and told me. I don't know. I haven't checked it out, but somebody told me this. But myself, I'm not really a beach person too much. But on the occasional afternoon, if I sit on a beach, I'm not really worried about the sunburn because I'm under a canopy of umbrellas, normally in Jumpton or something like that.
Australians have got a high beach culture, so Phuket's one of the main spots that Aussies go to, I think. So just no sunscreen.
Okay, here's one from Bernie for you.
I better ask you, guess Shane, if you can explain to your suburbs what a barber shop is in Ho Chi Minh City. Oh, barber shop, yeah. If you go, you can get your hair cut there, but they also may take you upstairs and stuff. It is possible to meet Vietnamese chicks. You can pull them on WeChat and stuff like that. They'll come to the nightclubs, the bars and stuff. You can do it. But for me, I didn't actually pick up the girls when I was in Vietnam.
Yeah, okay. There's some nice girls in the background there. I normally do that halfway through the stream. Put a nice picture of some nice young ladies there. Right. They don't. That's a strange thing to put up. Sealander says, why does British people think Australians only drink Fosters? I don't think they do. I mean, what makes you say that? Have you come across something that makes you say that? I certainly don't think Australians only drink Fosters. In fact, I've been told that Australians think Foster's is the worst beer they can drink. How is it from your end, Shane? Is it a popular beer in Australia?
That's our export. Yeah, Foster's is our export beer. We send it around the world. I've had a couple here, but it's not big. I don't even drink Australian beer. I prefer the European or the Asian beers.
I used to drink Foster's, but I find I like to get a buzz if I'm drinking. I don't mean get, paralytic, but if I'm having 2 or 3 beers, I like to, the endorphins, it sets off the endorphins, doesn't it? And I felt with Foster's, it was just a little bit weak. Maybe because I drink quite frequently, and I'm drinking this beer from, I don't know if you've got this in Australia. I show this every week. This is a French beer that one of our discount supermarkets sells. It's 4 of these is $2.99, which is about $6 Australian dollars. And I tell you what, it's 4.8%. It's 440 ml. It really is the best beer I've ever tasted. I used to drink 1066. This beer has such a good taste. I've actually got a lot of the subscribers on this channel, when they go to order, they get it. And I've had a couple of people write to me and say, wow, yeah, it is a real nice beer. Have you heard about this one before?
We've got Audi here in Australia, so they do send us cheap European beers that are at a high standard. They save on taxes when they send it out of Europe, but it comes at a cheap price. But that one, we may be able to get it here. I'll have to go to Audi to check it out, or some of the Dan Murphy's and other stores that we have.
And they do discount whiskies and stuff. It's all non-branded stuff, but it's good. It's good stuff. I'm saving about £12, which is about 24 Australian dollars, because your Australian dollars is kind of like 2 of your dollars make up about one of our pounds, don't they? So yeah. I used to pay about £30 for a case of lager, 1066, but that was a 500 ml. I'm now paying about 18, so I'm saving about £12 a case. And a litre of whiskey, I was paying £18.50 from the co-op, and I'm now getting that from Aldi for $14.99. So I'm saving a huge amount. I suppose people could argue right in and say, well, why don't you just stop drinking? But, I don't have any intention to be a priest, so why not enjoy yourself? Right, Mark Hanley says, no girl bars in Laos. Borpenya, is that right, Mark? Shane, rather?
No bar girls in Laos, or they're all, you can probably meet them, but if you get caught out, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So
yeah. I mean, the thing is, for me, if I was single and I was younger and I was out and about looking for this sort of thing, I think with me, it's not just about the deed. I think what's a lot of fun, I mean, I've gone out around the bars. The only difference is, I mean, a lot of guys won't believe it that I've never done it, because I've always had my wife with me. But the thing is, if I was in that single situation, I have gone out with single guys. What I like about someone like Pattaya, it's the whole scene, isn't it? It's the bars, the drinking, the playing Connect 4, the little devious games that they play with you. The shouting of handsome man when you walk past the bar. All the whole buzz of the thing. It's not the same to go down, just to slip into some house in a dark alleyway. And it's not all about that, is it? It's about the fun. That you can do all what I've just described and go home on your own. You still had a good night out.
Yeah, the atmosphere, the culture of Pattaya itself, you'll have a better experience rather than creeping into I don't know how you do it there. Yeah, it's if you go into Lao and stuff, you don't do the mongering there, I don't think. Yeah.
I don't know if this will be a bit embarrassing for you, but I'll put it up. Paul Shackleton.
I actually haven't got it yet. No, I work 6 days a week. Amazon, yeah. So I'll have to get it through Amazon. They'll post it out. I'll get it. Don't worry. I got a bookcase behind me. I do read books. I used
Well,
to
look on
anyway.
the bright side. Look on the bright side. If you run out of toilet paper, you've got something handy, haven't you? If you keep it in the bathroom.
No,
Huh?
well, yeah. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. That's volume 1. There's going to be about 6 volumes. I just checked. I mean, I'm not going to be on any number one bestsellers list. I just did it because somebody suggested it. Somebody actually did the editing for me. And I've sold today, in about 6 weeks, I've sold 57 books, which is not too bad, is it? It's just, I get, because it's on Amazon, Amazon keep 30%. So if it's, let's just say it's a tenner, it's $9.99. Amazon keep 30%, and then I'll get about 7. But out of that 7, I pay about 20% to Andrew, who put the book together for me. So it's small money, but it was a kind of project, and just to see your name on the back of the book and my stupid face smiling. I mean, I look at it, I think, my God, why did you use that photograph? But you know, it's why not? Why not? I haven't.
It's a good warning. It's a good warning manual.
Well, what shocked me, actually, the other day, I went into the reviews because people can review, and I thought, you know, because you get trolls on a channel like this, I thought, oh, people are going to hammer me. They're going to go in and leave all these shitty reviews. And I went in there, and the book's had about 8 reviews, and they're all really good. You know, people saying things like, I'm not doing this to sell the book. You can go and have a look at the reviews. But they're, you know, bought this book, nice little read. I'll read it on the plane. You know, got it stuck behind the radiator in the toilet. I do a story every time I go in. You know, that sort of thing. Maybe not quite that. But yeah, I'm quite happy. Nobody sort of kicked me in the bollocks, as it were. Right. Someone's saying hi to you, Leeds. Hi, Shano. Super nice. Hey, Peter. Right. Okay. So Sheila's in. KLM have good deals going out, but only recommend if you're into being tortured for 19 hours. I think some people pay extra for that, Sheila. No, I know what you mean. I'm guessing because it's you go in KLM, you're going to be doing a stopover in where is it KLM are from now? I've only had one beer, but you do a stopover in where is it? It's not Finland, it's Holland, Dutch, isn't it, KLM? Yeah. So you'll stop off for an hour there, I guess, and you've got that 2-3 hours. That's why I always like to go direct myself. Have you ever flown KLM, Shane?
I've never heard of it before.
No, you never heard of KLM?
No, never.
Oh, famous world airline, just as big as Emirates or anybody like that. Right, let's have a look.
Citizen Mikey, how are you? Oh, that's a beer and a thumbs up. Yeah, I wish I had a beer now, but it's 5:30 in the morning.
Okay, you're somebody. I thought that was for you. It's for someone else. Sometimes it's hard to pull out the chat, Shane, because you get people have these private conversations with each other, and you know I'm trying to pull up chat that's relevant to what we're talking about or any questions. Yeah. And sometimes I put chat up, and it's like one guy talking to another guy. Have a look. Yeah, have you ever watched him? He had some great videos. What became of Pattaya? Well, I guess he didn't. He's been into my channel before. I've actually communicated with him once or twice before. He's a nice guy. He made some excellent videos about Pattaya. He's a real monger, and he says in his videos, I don't care who knows it, I am a monger, and that's why I come to Pattaya. But you know, we had the pandemic, and he stopped going. And he just stopped making videos. I'm sure he'll get back into it. But yeah, very good videos, very good. Almost like a virtual night out. Have you watched his channel, Shane, Pattaya?
No, I haven't got onto YouTube since the pandemic has been launched. So before that, I wasn't present on YouTube.
No. Okay. Okay, Shane Scott Fly, also from Australia. Yeah, okay. That's one place I haven't been to, actually, Australia. And I didn't think it was somewhere that would appeal to me because I thought it'd be a bit like America or England. I know you're going to like, what? But I watched this program we had on in the UK, and it was a guy called Martin Clumes, I think his name is. And I don't particularly like the guy, but he did this program where he was in Australia and he went to all the islands. And it was really interesting. You know, he went to islands where... he just went to all these different islands with all these different cultures, and you know, he went to the Great Barrier Reef. Fantastic, you know. And I looked at it and I thought, wow, you know, Australia is, you know, it's a nice country.
We've got jungle, we've got desert, we've got bushland, we've got whatever you want.
Yeah. Right, Devil's Den. Heathrow to Bangkok, return direct with the Eva Egg, October 4th. 21st, £609, very good deal and similar price to pre-pandemic. And we know you're telling the truth, Devil's Den, because Andrew came in at the beginning, Andrew Hammond, and he said he's also booked on Eva Air in October, but I think he paid slightly more than you, not much more, 600 and something. But I'm going to go and have a look at Eva Air tomorrow and see what sort of deals are going on. They might all be sold out by the time I go on. Okay, a lot of people still talking about Vietnam. James Casey says Vietnam landscape is more diverse and is perhaps more beautiful. Did I read that out already? I have. These are the these are old comments. Let me go right down to the newer ones here. Let me click on this that says new comments. Oh yeah, we've got an idiot in again tonight. Let me just block this guy. Yeah. I think Frankel's kind of in and out. We get a guy on here and he's not trolling me, but what he does, he advertises a sex site of some sort, and he'll be back with more because he sets up about 10 usernames. You block him and then he comes back in with a second one. Right, Shane, we'll know Hamilton Island. My brother got married there. He's in Brisbane.
Yeah, it's a beautiful island. It's a large tourist zone. If you went there, you'd never forget it. It's really iconic.
Where's your favourite? Yeah, go on.
My favourite tourist spot is either Darwin, the lagoon, or Fremantle in Perth. Gold Coast is the predominant area that most people go to party in Australia. But I really love Sydney's nightlife, King's Cross, the Rocks, Cockle Bay, Darling Harbour, all that type of thing. Sydney used to be the best party scene in Australia for me when I was younger.
Do you get many British people visit Australia?
Yeah, we get a lot. I used to live with them in hostels and stuff like that when I was traveling and working with them in the nightclub scene.
Because we get called whinging Poms, don't we?
Yeah.
Why is that? Do they seem to complain a lot, the British, when they're over there?
I don't think they do. It's just a rumor that someone started. It's like Chinese whispers. They say, oh, the Poms are all whingers and stuff like that. So, it's a myth, I think. But it caught on.
Mazza, yo, Peter, only just turned on in. The girlfriend has been doing my head in all day, but managed to shake her up. Yeah, I had an argument with my missus today, so forget it. Come on here, enjoy yourself. I've come down to the newer comments now. If I missed your comments, guys, forgive me because I've just got so far behind. I've had to kind of leap forward and get some of the newer ones. Else I'll be answering comments that were asked 45 minutes ago. Okay. I told Shane I'd only keep him 20 minutes or half an hour. You've been in about an hour and 15 minutes now. You still awake? Still with us?
Yeah, right? I'm still awake. I've just started to settle in now. I was a bit nervous at the start, but you settled right into this. Yeah.
You don't need to be. Yeah, this is your second time on. You're a professional now. You feel a bit more relaxed now, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. It's like there's no one out there. Yeah, it's good.
Okay, good. Right, World Travel Forever. Australia has some really gorgeous Asian girls, better than in Bangkok. Yeah, I've I get these stories sent into me. Often I'll get Australian guys who'll say, yeah, my wife is Thailand, but I've never been to Thailand. I know there's some Thai girls set up quite a few massage parlors around Australia, isn't it? I've heard.
Yeah, there are more and more Thais coming to Australia. There's massage places, there's restaurants. They really get into the hospitality scene. I, at one point, living in the western suburbs here in Melbourne, had a couple of Thais that were coming around and living with me and stuff. They pretty much come here as wives and stuff. They're heavily into chef, cleaning, all types of things. And they do become entrepreneurs. They do elaborate in businesses. And there's a Thai restaurant in every suburb here in Melbourne, pretty much. So more and more they are coming.
And do you get much opportunity to meet Thai girls in Australia, or are they a bit stuck up once they're there? Because when you yeah, go on.
Yeah, you can meet them if you want to. You can find them on websites, but I just don't have the time. I was connected into various networks with them, friendships. We'd go out for food and have cook-ups and stuff like that in my house. But yeah, it sort of dropped off with the pandemic.
Yeah, there's one for you from James on screen.
Oh, Shane, do you know Shepparton area? I used to work out on a tomato farm there in my backpacker days and drinking Uchuka. Yeah, I've been to Shepparton a lot. I'm actually from regional New South Wales, so regional Victoria, it's a different place. But yeah, I've been around the Brits throughout Sydney and Melbourne. Top people, lived with them and stuff. Yeah.
I met a really nice Australian guy I've met loads of Australian guys, but I met a guy when I was in Pattaya. I was out with Trevor, Buzz in Pattaya, and I went into Nick Dean's bar. There were a few of them in there. And I met this Australian guy, and he knew me. He just said, Peter, Thailandbound, I watch your channel. And he's got kind of a small, I don't know what you call him in Australia, but it's out on a highway in the middle of nowhere. and it's I don't know if you call it a motel or a hotel. It's just it's a basic. Truck drivers would stay there, and they got a bar and maybe a little band and all that. And his son runs it while he's in Thailand. But he was a great guy. He said hello to me, very friendly. Had a few beers with him and stuff. And I think with Australians, there's definitely that. There's no snobbery there like there is here with some people, not everybody. It's a more laid back culture, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it's a beer culture. It's super relaxed here in Australia. You can go to certain points where it can be a little bit snobby, but even the snobs in Australia, they're all good. It's just beer culture. You'll get along with this easily.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Yours travel question. In my return flight is 37 days from when I enter. Will they let me in, or do I have to get a 60-day visa, or can I do that in Bangkok? Yeah, that's a tricky one, because what happens when you go in, they want to see your return ticket, and it just makes it a little bit more, not difficult, that's the wrong word. So if you get, for instance, when you go in, you get a month's visa, but what a lot of people don't know is it's not a month as in a calendar month, it's 28 days, because there's 7 days in a week, there's 4 weeks in a month, as you know, so that's 28 days. Now, if you go in and your ticket is booked for the 28th day coming out, they'll look at it, fine, off you go. But in your scenario where you say, if my return flight is 37 days from when I enter, will they let me in? Yeah, they'll let you in, but they'll probably ask you questions, and you'll have to, explain it well, and you can say, just be honest and say to them, look, I've come in on a 28-day, I'm getting a 28-day stamp. A visa, it's not a visa, it's a visa exemption actually for tourists. You just tell them straight, say, look, I'll get what I'm going to do within a week, I'm going to go to immigrate. Don't say an agent, for God's sake. I'm going to throw you out there and then. Just say, look, I want to stay for longer than 28 days. I'm going to go to immigration in Bangkok or Pattaya or wherever, and I'm going to get an extension for a further 30 days. And that should be a good enough explanation, and they should let you straight in. But don't say you're going to see an agent, and don't be tongue-tied, else you might have problems. Nick T. Peter, my grandfather used to say, me and your grandmother never argue, but I took a lot of walks. Yeah, I've done that with my missus in the early days. Have you ever been married, Shane, or not? Because how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm actually 38, never been married. I don't think I ever want to, It's just, I just want to travel and retire early and do things like that.
I mean, people are different, aren't there? There's people like you who enjoy being single. You like your freedom. Damon, who's not in tonight, he's lived on his own forever. With me, I don't know how it's going to go. I've been married for 33 years. I'm always used to having somebody around in the background, but I do enjoy my own company. I'm going to live in Thailand full time. I'm sure I'll miss having. I mean, it's not difficult to meet new friends in Thailand, but when you've been with somebody for 33 years, it's very difficult to kind of let their memories go, isn't it? Maybe I'll be like you. Maybe I enjoy living by myself. Okay, that's is that Brian? My man Peter at it again. What's up? Yeah, okay, right. Erwin Twickler, KLM, Schiphol, Amsterdam, Bangkok. Right, 11 hours, 10 minutes. Well, that makes sense because it's about 12 hours from the UK.
Single life is the best life. I find it's more peaceful. There's no one in your face when you're at home and stuff, so it's really good.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think of that comment?
Shane, there might be a Thai restaurant in every suburb, but there's no grub on the menu. No grub on the menu, right? Yeah. No, the Thai standard of food here, it's really good. There's always been Vietnamese and Chinese, so it's good to see that the Thais are actually coming here and popping up and opening businesses.
I'll tell you what I've noticed. I live in what in England we call it a market town. It's a typical medium-sized town. It's quite safe. It's just a normal small town. And I've noticed 2 Thai massage places have opened up over the last sort of year or so. We've had a Thai restaurant in the town for around 10 years now, maybe a bit longer. I went there obviously because, spending so much time in Thailand, Thai restaurant. I went up and had a meal, and it was nice and it was enjoyable, but it wasn't like Thai food that you get in Thailand. In some ways, it was better because I know that might sound crazy, but I'm quite a fussy eater, and I found the food that I had here was actually, although it was different to Thailand, I found it easier. Not easier. I just found it nicer than eating street food, for instance, over there. Right there, a little bit of support for you there. Look.
Yeah, that's right. Big up, Shane. Mazza.
Okay, let's get down to some of these more recent comments again. James again. It was actually in Australia where the sea to travel to Thailand began. I went to Bangkok with just my flip-flops, thongs, as they say in Aussie, and my wife beater and short. Wife beater, that's a vest, Shane. The wife beater vest. You know, I had one because it's so hot in here once. Everyone came in and said, "You got your wife beater vest on."
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Terry says on this visa thing, it's difficult to get an extension to start. All right. I don't think, can you get, I don't think you can get a one-way ticket from the UK to Bangkok, can you? I've never seen them. I'm not saying you can't, but I've not seen them advertised. When I go on any of the sites and, I have put in one way because obviously when I go out there to retire, I don't want to get a return, not retire. When I go out there full time, I don't want a return ticket. And I have tried to put just one way, and those sort of one-way flights don't tend to come up. And I just wondered if immigration have got a problem with people coming in with no return ticket.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I might jump off. I'm starting to get tired.
Yeah. What's that say again, Shane?
I might jump off the stream if that's right. I'm starting to fall asleep. Yeah, it's
is it me? Is it me? Am I saying? No, look, Shane, I said I was only going to keep. No, that's fine. Look, Shane, I said I was only going to keep you in for about 20 minutes, half an hour. You've been in now for about an hour and a half, so well done for that. What time is it where you are now?
It's 20 to 6, 5:41.
All right, you're going back to bed, aren't you? What are you working today?
Yeah, I've got to work in not till 1 p.m, so I've still got enough time to sleep. I had 6 hours before I jumped on, but yeah, it's been really good time, and thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you've enjoyed it, and I'm glad you relaxed a little bit. And no doubt later on when you wake up, you'll watch this on the rerun, and you'll be watching it with your fist in your mouth like this. But it's been okay. It's been good. And a lot of people have been very kind to you, so that's great. So thanks for joining me again, Shane. I hope we get you in again one day, and as always, I hope I meet up with you in Thailand. We can have a pint together, pint of Foster's.
Right,
all the
best.
best.
Thanks for your time, Thailand.
Thank you. Okay, what a nice guy. Yeah. Right. Okay, it's only me now. So good little conversation with Shane. Is it next week? I'm going to try and get yours travels in. He's another guy like Shane. He's done a lot of traveling around the world, but he's never been to Thailand. So might be able to give him some tips here while he's watching this. Right. Pierre, is it, or Piri? Right. The good thing about you, Peter, is that when you do your second act, Not Married, you will have had well over 300 stories worth of tips and 30 years of experience. You won't have any problems. There is that, I suppose, but even without the stories, I got enough friends in Thailand. I've witnessed it firsthand. I've seen guys, not literally watched them, but I had a very good friend who jumped off a balcony in Pattaya. That was one of my first stories. But yeah, hopefully nothing, I'm 62. I don't know if I want to date again or what I'm going to do. I need to just set myself up in an apartment, settle down, regroup, and decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw myself completely into YouTube to take my mind off everything, and hopefully it'll all work out. Right. Web to Ride, nice to see you in the stream again. Peter, I had 32 days. Technically, I landed at 11:40 p.m., departed at 12:30 a.m. on last trip, December, January, and was almost denied. Had to apply, pay for visa. They have been looking for additional money everywhere. Yeah, well, Web to Ride, that's what I'm saying. You have to be very careful, because if they set the rules at 28 days and Fred over there got away with 29 days, you can't take that as gospel and say, well, I'll definitely get away with 29 days, because the rules change, don't they? All I'd say, when you go to Thailand, look up the rules. If they say you get 28 days when you go in, book your ticket for 28 days. And then when you're there, especially with Thai Airways, you can change your flight. That's what happened to me on the when we had I caught COVID in December, and I was only on a 3-week return, and I ended up staying there for 5 years, but it was 5 weeks. It was very easy. I called Thai Airways in Bangkok, English-speaking agent. They said, "Yep, no problem. We'll keep it open for 3 months, 1,000 baht," and it was very easy. So yeah, you need to play by the rules really, as much as you can. Right, Franco, what are you saying? Let's have a look. I've lost you now. I've lost you, Franco. Right. let's get into some of these comments now. I've missed a lot of them. Thailandbound, will you thank... Right. Thailandbound, will you thank your super chat from Peter Kepsa? I did. Is there another one then? Or unless that's an old comment. Let me have a look. Yeah, I did. Pete. Well, if I didn't, Peter Capsuck, you and Shane make it. Yeah, I did definitely. Yeah, did I? You and Shane made a great live stream team, just as good as you and Ed. Yeah, Peter. If I haven't, thank you, and thank you, Franco, for letting me know. Right, let's have a look. Yours travels again. We have 8 Thai massage parlors in Liverpool, £40 for 1 hour, another £50 for wink, wink, nod, nod. Yeah, what's that then? Yeah, okay. Right, Martin Ryder. Yes, one way is okay, but they might ask. Yeah, okay. I just don't find the tickets. You know, when I put in a one-way trip to Bangkok, nothing comes up. So, I don't know. I'll have another look. Whiskey. Right, okay. Flown many times to Bangkok, one-way ticket. That's from Martin Ryder. Martin, I'd be interested. Where did you buy your one-way ticket from? Did you get it from one of the airline sites, one of the big names? Let me know, and I can go back and run through this tomorrow. Gentleman's Pattaya. Skyscanner will give you the results. I'll go on all those sites, and we all go on the same sites. You put in cheap flight to Bangkok, and they all come up, don't they? Right, only in Thailand. Yesterday, I looked at one-way tickets to Thailand and was quoted 495. Okay, right. Well, maybe I haven't been looking hard enough. But the thing is, again, if you're going on a one-way ticket, you know, you're going to be asked a lot of questions, because if you're going in and you get a visa on arrival, and you don't have to fill in the card anymore, the TW22 or 21, whatever it was, because that would have been a problem, because they ask you on there what your return flight number is. And if you left it blank, then potentially they're going to ask you questions. So that's a good thing. I'll have another look tomorrow. Chun Motorsport. I always book one-way ticket and separate ticket back to Sweden. Okay. Tom Yum Guy. I've mostly come in on visa exempt for stay for 2 to 4 months. No problems with them. If they ask, I tell them I don't have a set itinerary. If things go well, I'll apply for a month's net. Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that's fair enough. They're not unreasonable, are they? As long as they understand what you're doing. I think if you came in from a dodgy country, I was going to name a country there, but I won't. But I think if you came in from a dodgy country, what they class as dodgy on a one-way ticket, then you might have problems. Right, David said, you can always get a 60-day visa from your own country before you leave at your country's Thai consulate. Yes, you can, and it's very, very fast. I know somebody who does it. And the bonus of that, you don't even have to send. I don't know if you know this, David, but now it's even changed again. You don't have to send your passport off to the Thai embassy in London, for instance, in the UK, because what happens, you apply online, you pay your fee, and they send you something that you print off and you stick it in your passport. So you don't, you know, it's so easy now. And the other benefit of doing that is you can apply for 60 days off the back from the Thai embassy in your own country. So if you go and you get 30 days at the border when you enter, you can go to immigration, get another 30 days, and that's it, unless you border hop. And they're getting a bit stricter on that as well. But if you get 60 days from your Thai embassy, then you've already got 60 days, and you can extend that for a further 30 days. So you can actually go for 3 months on 90 days doing it that way. Okay. Right, a lot of people saying thank you to Shane. He will go through this. He's not here now, but he'll go through these comments tomorrow, I guess. I feel a bit guilty now because he was getting tired, because he had about 6 hours sleep. Don't forget Australia. When he came onto this, it was like 3:45 in the morning, and I said, "Oh, look, I'll only keep you in for half an hour, Shane." He was like, "Yeah," and because it was going quite well, you forget to look at the time, and he was actually in an hour and a half. He's nearly dropping off to sleep. So, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Right, Richard Green. Wow, who's the girls behind you on the hat? She's like a box of Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? That photo is from a nightclub. I'm not going to name it because let's just leave it at that. Okay, nice picture. Right. Yeah, a lot of people saying thanks to Shane. Okay, Alec. About the visa, I thought since COVID you can now get 45 days on arrival, not the 30. Yeah, it's all gone now. It's all gone now, Alec. You'll have to check for yourself, but as far as I know, it's all gone, because when I caught COVID in December, I was only on 28 days, so I had to extend just because I stayed another 2 weeks, 1 week to self-isolate in the hotel, They didn't take me to hospital for whatever reason. So I did self-isolate for a week. People brought me supplies, hung them on my door, whatever. And I got an agent to do my passport. I obviously couldn't go to immigration, left it in reception. They picked it up. I paid money to have it done. But during COVID, when it came back, I was expecting an extra 30 days. And this was in this beginning of January, first week of January, I think 5th of January. And when it come back, it was valid until March. So they actually gave me an extra 60 days because of COVID. But that's all out the window now. You know, Thailand pass is gone. And it's back to normal, 30 days as far as I know. Okay, a French version of Peter. Great. Okay, thank you for explaining that. Mercy Pool, the secret to getting into any country is start asking the agent. This works for any country. Carry a map up to the agent and start pointing to places and asking for help. All right. Yeah, that's what I just said there. Look, Chris Booth was a pain sending all docs and passports to London. Now all online. Yeah, it's very easy now online, isn't it? Mazza says, Peter, any tips on how to finish with my miserable girlfriend? Can't you just like pack a bag and go? I'm not an expert. I've 33 years of being with mine, so I'm not an expert. This is the first time. And we're doing it in a nice way, although we did have a bit of a row today, which pissed me off just before the stream, just when I needed it. Peter, what kind of items can I not bring home other than pics of Buddha? My dad's mistress brought him a cobra in a bottle a long time ago, and I was surprised she was able to bring that back. There is a list of prohibited items on the Thai embassy's website. You're probably better, rather than relying on a YouTuber. I know you're just trying to get a little bit of advice, but I'm certainly not an expert. But you're right about the Buddha. When you come from the airport, there's signs. You know, Buddha's a serious religion. Don't treat it as a I forget what the sign says, but you know, you shouldn't be trying to pack Buddha's heads in your suitcase. Any kind of wildlife, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't know off the top of my head because I don't try. I take my clothes. That's it. You know, I used to smoke. I used to buy cigarettes before I went, maybe a bottle of whiskey or two, and that's it. But what I would say is definitely look at the Thai embassy website. That's your best port of call for that. Only in Thailand. I wanted to do that, get a 60-day and then extend it for another 30 days. But if I book a flight for 90 days after arriving in Thailand, have only got a 60-day from immigration. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you do it the right way, you're not going to have any problems. Go 26. You can be asked by the airline when checking in for proof of onward travel, or they can deny you boarding. It doesn't need to be a return ticket. An onward ticket. So in other words, you need another ticket. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not getting at so much that you need a return ticket. I'm getting on that you need either a return ticket or an onward ticket. Just a single ticket. I'm only going to Thailand, then that's it. But several people have come into the stream and said, you know, they've done it, haven't they? They've bought single tickets and they've gone in. I will have a serious look at this in the week, and I'll try and remember to. I'll talk about it next Sunday, not on Friday's stream. Gemini Star, everyone's got their favorites. Gemini Star, you're saying, Martin Ryder, are you working for Skyscanner? You're getting the best deals, yeah. Right. Thai Billy Boy says, Peter, any lady boys in the background photo asking for a friend? If I had to guess, I'd think they're pretty much all ladies. But if I had to say, if there were lady boys and I had to take a guess, if somebody said to me, look, make sure you can have one of these girls to take you around the city sightseeing for the night, but a couple of them are lady boys. I mean, hopefully they'll oversee it. I would say maybe that one and maybe that one. Don't be fooled by the enhancements, okay? Right. Okay, Stanley Stewart says it's 30 days. Trying to look to extend it for. Well, you know they're bringing out all these new rules, don't you? In September, they want to change the whole visa system now. They want more wealthy tourists, and they're having a big shake-up. The one that will probably you'll be interested in if you're going long-term. Well, this is for long-term residents, people who live there. They're kind of bringing out 4 new different rules. You've got the wealthy pensioner. You've got the people who are. I won't get into it here, but you can look at it. I found it on the Tigers website, but they are 1st of September. They are looking to change some of the visas. Bernie again. Thailand is a top Asian destination. Thailand is a top Asian destination. They must not become over expensive. The mobile distracted younger generation must also concentrate more on top customer service delivery, or else they will lose tourists. Yeah, I don't, to be honest with you, Bernie, I think with Thailand, I think they can just about get away with anything. It's such a fantastic country to go to, so much to offer. It would take a real, you know, I mean, I've never sort of said to myself, I'll never go there again. I think they could do a lot of things that would upset me and I'd still go. Leeds says, Frank Travels, I was looking to book an Emirates website for the 22nd of December, but was quoted 5,800 business class, gone up an extra 2,000. Yeah, business class, I mean, if it was kind of around, what was it before pre-pandemic? About 2.5, something like that. I mean, I'm looking now, because of my age, I want a bit of comfort in my life. I don't really want to travel economy anymore. I know you're saving, you can use that money in Thailand, but I'm looking at the economy upgrade, the premium. But that's coming up at the moment anywhere from, the cheapest I found was on Emirates. It was about £1,600. I'll have another look around, I think. Right. Martin Ryder says, at London Grace Hotel, they have freelancer coffee shop in reception. Really? Right. Terry Dale says, thanks for the input. We have a Thai embassy not far from me. First problem solved. We can always do it online, Terry. You don't need to go down there, do you? Probably quicker to do it online, actually. Chris Booth says they're going to have a meeting still about looking at making visa on land and port. Did I read that one out already? Okay, so I've already done that, Clive. I hadn't seen your. I wouldn't say I'm a ladyboy expert, but it's just, you know, been there a while. I've seen, you know, can kind of differentiate. And no one ever sees. I got the impression those visa rules weren't replacing the system in place now, but were just additional options. No, I mean it's all up in the air at the moment. The impression I got was that they're not going to have like 8 lots of visas, are they? Well, maybe they will, or 4 on top of what they're already got. I think the best thing to do is not presume. I think we'll wait until they announce it. But they did definitely bring out 4 different categories of visas, and I took it like they were looking to replace the old visas, because the title that I read it was on the Tigers website. It says, if you're looking to retire to Thailand and you don't have a lot of money, forget it, because they're changing the visas. And then they give a list of which ones there were. Right, cheeky bad boy. When I went to Thailand from Hong Kong, I only had a single way ticket and they didn't blink an eye. I went through immigration. I suppose you were lucky. It depends who was on the counter at the time. That can happen. Right, Co-op 61. I'm a cheap Charlie. I always fly economy. Everyone gets there at the same time. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it, isn't it? Everyone gets there at the same time. But then if I put you in a coffin, laid down and drilled holes in the top of it, and you got stiff completely, like, you know, like that all the way, you'd get there, wouldn't you? But it's not the same as sitting in an economy seat, putting your head back, if that makes sense. Right. Way West. We can't know if Peter knows this ladyboys. He's been there, done that. Don't tell his wife. I haven't actually, believe it or not. Okay. Right, who's saying that? Devil's Den. Heathrow to Bangkok direct Thai, one way November, first 400. That's very, very cheap. Luxury vegan travel. Peter, what's the oldies whiskey like? I normally like Jameson, JW Black Label. Would you say there are any similarities? What I would say about the oldie whiskey, it's not. It's just as good as any of the others. You know, if you buy it, it's a supermarket whiskey. I'm saying, not the real budget. You know, in Tesco's you can get the white label stuff, and then the next one up is the 3-year. They say it's matured for 3 years, and that's quite reasonable. But I think you'll find the same distillery probably makes it for all the supermarkets, and they just put their own labels on it. And the one you get in oldie tastes no difference. It's 40% strength. I can't tell any difference, but it's 3 or 4 quid cheaper. And I like to drink Black Label whiskey. I really like Black Label. I once was lucky enough to have a shot of Blue Label when I was in India. Somebody actually bought me at that time. I'm talking 30 years ago. It was I think it was £100 a bottle back then. Blue Label. If you've never tasted Blue Label whiskey, I can't explain it. It's so smooth. But I like to drink Black Label, and sometimes in Tesco's they'll have an offer on, and they'll bring it down from £30 to £20. And when I see that, I'll grab that at £20. But I'll enjoy it, sip it slowly. I'll never put any ice or mixers in with it or anything like that. Always got me in Thailand. You know, it's all Black Label here, Black Label everywhere in the nightclubs, but they put Coca-Cola in it and soda, and you think, well, hang on, it's a premium whiskey. Why are you putting Coca-Cola in it? You might as well, you might as well drink, you know, a cheap whiskey and put Coca-Cola in it. Right, thank you for that live super chat there from Broadcast Dave. Fly economy and get a massage to work the kicks out. I've always flown economy, but on the rare occasion that I did a couple of those economy upgrades, they were very, very good. You know, you can sleep a lot better and you feel they're a lot better, feel a lot more rested when you get there. Okay, yeah, Franco's thanking you there as well, because he knows I'm going to buy him a pizza next week with that. Right, guys, let's do a couple more. That 3 dog years can probably use that rock gut as paint thinners. Yeah, and be careful if you've got gold fillings, because it'll probably take them out as well. Right, Carlos, how are you doing? Hey, Peter, have a great stream. We're nearly there, Carlos, but thank you. Colin Moore, Valium is a must for a 12-hour flight. Where do you get Valium from? Because you can't get it over the counter, can you? I tend to have my own solution for falling asleep, and it's never failed me. Right. Jake says, I just booked a 2-week trip to Thailand in November, $900 US, round trip, Los Angeles to Bangkok on Eva Air. Yeah, Eva Air are very good, very good. Okay, that's fine. We're nearly done, Stringer. Paul Hoey. Martin Ryder, my mate took a cocktail of Valium and booze and slept like a baby, but took the steward 30 minutes to wake him up after landing in Bangkok. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't do any sort of tablets or anything. What I do, I like to take a night flight. I'm straight in the bar at Heathrow. I'll have 3 or 4 pints. I'll get on the aircraft. They'll bring the drinks, you know, the peanuts and the drink round. I'll have a bottle of another beer, maybe then the meal comes around. I'll have a glass of wine and a meal, maybe another beer, and then I'm out. That's it. 8 hours. I'm, you know, and I always get a window seat so people don't have to climb over me. And they normally wake me up just as they're about to serve breakfast. But that's the worst part, because they serve breakfast about 2 hours before they land. So it takes you 10 minutes to eat your breakfast. And then the last hour and a half, you can't get back to sleep. And you're sort of looking at your watch, and it's like, that last 2 hours is a killer. It just seems to drag on. Keith again, get Valium prescribed from your doctor for the flight. Yeah, I suppose you could do. I've got by without it. Right, guys. Okay, that's it. It's 2 hours, 2 minutes. I'm going to say thanks to everybody. Still got 352 in. We'll see. I haven't made a decision yet. I will be back on Friday for another live stream. That will be 9 p.m. as always. And I will be back next Sunday as well at 7 p.m. We'll do it for a few weeks. We'll see how it goes. I might drop one of them in the future because it's hard to keep going with the 2 streams. But guys, thank you very much. It was great having Shane or Travel. If you're still listening to this, Shane, I hope you get a good few hours sleep. Sorry for keeping you on for too long, and I hope you enjoy the rerun when you watch it tomorrow. You were great. There was no problems. And to all you guys out there, have a brilliant what's left of the weekend, and I'll see you all on Friday. Thank you, guys.